A lady was flying on top of the White Demon Castle, and she was calling the man below her, who was out of breath, White Demon Saint Chen-bai. She remarked that his failure in the mission had put her in a very bad mood, and she instructed to go to hell. Chen-bai was surprised when he heard what the lady stated. He asked the lady, who was the Lady Goddess of Darkness, to wait, and he requested that she consider his past accomplishments to give him another chance. But the Lady Goddess of Darkness declared that lowly humans have no right to request opportunities, so his White Demon Castle would be obliterated along with the darkness. The darkness started to rise from below and began consuming the White Demon Castle. Chen-bai groaned in pain as the concrete floor he was standing on began to crumble. As he fell into the darkness, Chen-bai protested that he had completed nearly 100 tasks for the Lady Goddess of Darkness, but just because of one failure, he was going to be wiped out. Chen-bai's body began to disintegrate, and as he realized that all of that was happening just because he was a lowly human, he vowed that he would refuse to accept it and that he wouldn't submit. While the concrete was falling towards a pool of water, Chen-bai was floating in it and laughing. He was laughing hysterically, although only the top part of his body remained. Chen-bai called Lady Goddess of Darkness Heloise, the Dark Ditch, and as he gave her the middle finger, he taunted that he would duck her. But Heloise simply stomped on him to submerge him in the water. Chen-bai continued to disintegrate as he kept falling deep into the water. There was endless darkness, but suddenly, the hourglass hanging by his neck began to glow. It seemed to have begun sucking in energy and reversed something. Suddenly, Chen-bai sat up from a bed while still giving the middle finger and cursing. Chen-bai was surprised when he noticed something different. He was surprised that he was not dead, and as he looked around, he realized that he was in the dorm from his college days, so he wondered how he ended up there when he was killed by the ditch Heloise. Chen-bai pondered that the decades of trial felt so real, so he wondered if it could have been a dream, but suddenly, he noticed the hourglass hanging by his neck. That hourglass was the item he obtained 20 years after the arrival of the Universal Will when the trial began. It was the most unique item Chen-bai had ever seen, as it couldn't display any attributes and couldn't be destroyed, so he always kept it with him, and he remembered that the sand was at the bottom, which wouldn't flow even if turned upside down, but currently it was at the top. Chen-bai realized that the sand was flowing back and time was reversing, so he checked on his phone to see what the current time was. It was June 5th, 2032, 10 days before the arrival of the Universal Will and the start of the trial. Chen-bai recalled that 10 days later, on June 15th, the Universal Will would officially arrive and begin the trial, which would kill more than 90% of humanity. The deceased humans will turn into various zombies and monsters, all conventional weapons will fail, and the world will witness its demise in just one night. However, along with the dangers of the universal trial come opportunities because those who survive will awaken innate abilities, and many magical equipment and items from various copies will also descend to Earth along with the universal will. Those good things even attracted a god who controls the rules of the universe, and those gods cannot directly intervene in the trial, so they attract humans under the guise of protection in an attempt to gain benefits from it. Chen-bai recalled that in his previous life, he was not strong enough, so after paying a lot, he finally joined under Heloise's command. He desperately completed the task she assigned to him to try and enhance his status, but he never expected to be erased just because of one failed mission. Chen-bai was checking his phone, and people were posting questions about whether they saw a new type of rabies or zombies from a movie because patients at Jiangshang First Hospital were going crazy and biting people, and another person posted that it was unbelievable because a body in the middle of forensic dissection at Jiangshang Medical Examiner's office woke up. After seeing them, Chen-bai asserted that at that time, he must become stronger, strong enough not to rely on anyone or any god, but he corrected himself as he claimed that he would become strong enough to crush even the gods under his feet. So Heloise should just wait. A few moments later, Chen-bai arrived in a hospital, and he was recalling that 10 years after the trial began, someone claimed to have discovered the only way to upgrade innate abilities, and he mentioned that 10 days before the trial began, the innate abilities actually became effective, and if one discovers and utilizes their innate abilities, they could upgrade them. Chen-bai entered the hospital, and he remarked that in his previous life, his innate ability was E-rank virus resistance, and according to the method, he explained that in order to upgrade his innate ability, he must use the virus to trigger and strengthen it in advance. He He eavesdropped on a doctor standing in front of a patient's room who was discussing with a nurse about such strange symptoms that were truly unprecedented, and the nurse observed that she felt like the patient was just like in the movies. The doctor and the nurse left. Inside the room, a patient was tied up. His mouth was also gagged, and his veins were popping out of his skin while his eyes were completely white. Chen Bai was standing beside the patient, and he confirmed that it was indeed a zombie. Grabbing a syringe, Chen Bai prepared to insert it into one of the zombie's veins, and he stated that to utilize and train his virus resistance innate ability, he could only rely on him. He inserted the syringe and began drawing out the purple blood of the zombie. When the syringe got full, Chen Bai pulled it out, and he asserted that those should be enough for him to trigger his innate ability. A few moments later, Chen Bai came back to the dorm, and as he pointed out that no one was around, he mentioned that he knew they had stayed up all night. Taking out the syringe, Chen Bai nervously looked at it, and he speculated that if that theory was wrong, he might just die there. But he decided to just forget it, and as he injected the liquid into his arm, he recalled that before the reset, he struggled for decades as a weakling, barely surviving until he finally made some progress. While he was groaning in pain as his veins popped out of his skin, Chen Bai reflected that if he awakened an E-rank innate ability again that time, even if he knew the future, he would miss opportunities due to being too weak, so he might as well just die at that moment than to start over and still be weak. Chen Bai suddenly collapsed on the ground, and he was gasping for air. Suddenly, Chen Bai came to a place filled with voids, and while he was on all fours due to pain, Heloise appeared in front of him. Heloise was encouraging Chen Bai. She urged him to give up resistance and embrace the darkness because, as a lowly human, being part of the darkness is his most fitting end. Chen Bai was having a hard time as he tried to call Heloise's name. He gathered all his energy and vowed that he would conquer her, so there was no way he could fall there. Back in the dorm, Chen Bai was standing on the balcony, and he seemed like an empty vessel. Suddenly, the door to the room opened, and as Chen Bai looked behind him to see who it was, his face looked like the patient in the hospital, and the three men who just entered the room were all horrified when they saw it. Chen Bai started walking towards them, and they were prepared to fight for their lives as they inquired what was going on. They called Chen Bai's name, and suddenly, Chen Bai came back to his senses. There was a moment of awkward silence between the four of them as Chen Bai tried to process the situation. Chen Bai casually questioned the three of them rhetorically if they were back. He went into the bathroom and announced that he would go wash his face, but the men looked skeptical. As he entered the bathroom, Chen Bai stood in front of the door for a moment. Chen Bai suddenly stood in front of the mirror with a big grin on his face as he proclaimed that the theory worked and was correct as the zombie virus didn't kill him, which meant that his innate ability had been upgraded successfully. He began to wonder what level his innate ability would be after awakening. Suddenly, a light shined on him, and a voice congratulated him on being selected as a pioneer, receiving the title of Pioneer and Awakening in advance, and Chen Bai recognized that it was the voice of the universal will. Chen Bai realized that he had awakened, so he commanded to open the title interface. The interface showed that those who discover, utilize, and train their abilities before the trial begins could possess the Pioneer title. That could increase all attributes by 5%, increase experience gained by 10%, and awaken the attribute panel in advance. And when Chen Bai saw the percentage boost, he exclaimed that it was a perfect title. Chen Bai smiled excitedly as he thought about opening the innate ability panel, and he was so excited that he broke the sink by grabbing into it so strongly. The innate ability panel revealed to Chen Bai that he was an SSS virus monarch. Chen Bai became a virus monarch, the most powerful ability in the virus element, and it could absorb, utilize, manipulate, transform, and even create viruses. As he tried out his ability, Chen Bai remarked that currently he only has the ability to absorb viruses, and the range of absorption is very limited, so he needed a large amount of virus to enhance his ability, and the hospital was naturally the best place to obtain viruses. A few moments later, Chen Bai arrived in front of the hospital building. He was surprised when he noticed something. Chen Bai saw a lot of people running for their lives while asking for help as they were being chased by zombies, and they were exclaiming that it was crazy. As one of them passed by Chen Bai, he warned him that they were zombies and it was the end of the world, which confused Chen Bai. Chen Bai smirked discreetly as he remembered something. He remembered that in his previous life, he heard people talk about the names of 3 strange incidents that happened in Zhongcheng before the trial came, and one of them was the sealed hospital. The man who warned Chen Bai got worried about him when Chen Bai charged forward with a smirk on his face, and he observed that it looked like he came at the right time. Chen Bai lunged forward, and he was about to tackle a zombie in front of him. He grabbed the zombie's face and slammed it to the ground. Chen Bai used the virus monarch's talent skill, virus absorption, as he obtained the zombie virus and gained 1 virus point, usable for strengthening abilities. Chen Bai exclaimed that it was great. As the other zombies noticed him and charged towards him, he declared that none of them would escape that day. Meanwhile, at the hospital's 4th-floor restroom, a zombie was banging in front of the stalls while other zombies followed him. A man was inside the stall, and he looked so horrified, repeatedly crying out that it was over because the door wouldn't hold much longer. As the zombie in front of the stall continued to bang on the door, the man stated that there was no way out, so they were going to die. He was laughing hysterically when he turned to look at the girl behind him. The man was Director Lai, and the girl, who was crying on the floor, inquired what they should do. The girl was puzzled when she saw that Director Lai was trembling, and she questioned what was wrong with him. Director Lai looked crazy, and he confessed that he had been chasing her for so long, yet she never agreed, so since they were about to die, he suggested that she let him enjoy himself before they went, and the girl was so surprised that she called Director Lai by his full name, Liu Feng, as she demanded if he had gone mad and what nonsense he was talking about. Suddenly, the hand of the zombie burst through the door. In a short time, the zombie broke the entire door and was about to come into the stall, and Li Feng looked so terrified as he pleaded how it could be and repeatedly voiced that he didn't want to die. The girl was taken by surprise when Li Feng suddenly grabbed her arm. Liu Feng pulled her and pushed her towards the zombie, using her as a human shield as he screamed and continued to proclaim that he didn't want to die. He ran towards the window while thinking about how they were on the 4th floor. The zombie chased after Liu Feng, and he looked desperate as he muttered that it was just the 4th floor. Suddenly, his body stuck out the window while the zombie flew out of it and was falling towards the ground. Liu Feng was bleeding, and he was unconscious while his body hung on the edge of the window. Several minutes later, multiple bodies of zombies were lying on the ground. It was Chen Bai who defeated them, and he came across the girl whom Liu Feng had pushed towards the zombies earlier. The girl was writhing on the ground, turning into a zombie, and Chen Bai noted that it was great as she was a medical staff member, and it looked like she was just bitten. Chen Bai suggested that there should still be time, and he used his skill, virus absorption, on the girl. While he absorbed the virus from the girl, Chen Bai anticipated that the military would soon arrive to seal off the place, so he needed someone who understood the hospital to lead the way. Chen Bai remarked that he would try to suck out all the zombie virus inside the girl, and they would see if he could stop her from turning into a zombie. Suddenly, the colors of the girl's eyes came back. She quickly sat up, extremely surprised, and Chen Bai announced that it worked. The girl quickly turned to Chen Bai and thanked him. Chen Bai observed to the girl that it seems that she hasn't completely lost consciousness, and as the girl confirmed that she knew what happened, Chen Bai grabbed her hand and stated that he needed her help with something immediately. The girl bashfully replied that it was no problem, but she wanted to change into some clothes first. But Chen Bai suddenly dragged her and asserted that there was no time, so she should just take him to the place in the hospital with the most viruses. A few moments later, they arrived in the laboratory. The girl explained to Chen Bai that the laboratory is where the hospital has the most viruses, as all clinical samples from patients are tested there, and as Chen Bai grabbed some vials, he confirmed that those should be enough. He began pouring the viruses into a beaker, which surprised the girl, and she asked him what he was planning to do, but Chen Bai just urged her to be quiet instead of answering her question. Chen Bai placed his hand over the beaker, and as he used his skill, virus absorption, he began acquiring the hepatitis virus, influenza virus, herpes virus, and HIV virus, and he gained 10, 0.79, and 10 virus points, respectively. After he finished absorbing all of that, Chen Bai contemplated the next step. Chen Bai planned to strengthen the zombie virus with all the viruses. He was given new viruses to choose from: the Dark Light virus, Ancestor virus, T virus, and Coxy virus, and Chen Bai was pondering what was most beneficial for enhancing his strength at the moment. Chen Bai inspected the Dark Light virus, for which he successfully obtained the core ability to evolve and devour. It increases all his attributes by 10 and his self-healing ability by 200%. He considered it, and he mentioned that it was a virus primarily focused on devouring and evolving. Chen Bai was brought back to reality when the girl suddenly alerted him that zombies were coming at the door. When Chen Bai saw the zombie that was entering the laboratory, he advised not to move from where she was. The girl was surprised when Chen Bai swiftly lunged towards the zombie and grabbed it by the neck. Chen Bai observed that he was faster than before and the zombie probably weighs about 150 pounds, but it doesn't feel difficult at all, so he concluded that it was a great opportunity to test his new ability on him. As Chen Bai considered what he was about to do next, the skin of his hands opened up, and a dark aura suddenly crawled out of those openings. A huge vine-like aura suddenly wrapped around the zombie while Chen Bai was still suspending him on air with one hand. The vines rustled as they continued to wrap around and devour the zombie. It was Chen Bai's skill, Evolution Devour, and the vines have completely wrapped and devoured the entire zombie. After devouring, the vines were hissing as they retreated back into Chen Bai's hand. Chen Bai was walking towards the girl while stretching his shoulders, thinking that it was very good because the absorption speed was fast, and he felt some stamina recovery while the girl flinched. She looked scared, and she was stuttering as she was about to confront Chen Bai about what he just did. With the ends of the vines still rustling in his hands, the girl's eyes were filled with terror, and Chen Bai inquired what was wrong. The girl let out a deep breath to calm herself down. She expressed that he saved her, and she trusted that he wouldn't harm her, so she would help keep his secret. Chen Bai agreed, and as he extended his hand, he introduced his name to the girl, and the girl introduced herself as Suk-sin in response. Suddenly, they heard growling sounds outside, and Chen Bai questioned what it was. Chen Bai realized that the military and police had arrived, and they must have sealed off the place and were clearing out the zombies, so they should leave too. At the hospital corridor, Chen Bai was dragging Suk-sin, and as he requested her to take him to the rooftop as they would leave from there, Suk-sin queried if they couldn't just leave directly because they hadn't turned into zombies. Unaware of the zombie that was hanging upside down from the ceiling, Chen Bai continued to run towards it as he insisted that he didn't have time to be isolated and questioned. Chen Bai was alarmed when he noticed the zombie hanging above him, and he exclaimed that it was bad. He quickly raised his arms to protect himself. Blood spurted out of Chen Bai's hands as the zombie clawed at it, and Suk-sin screamed in fear. Suk-sin looked so horrified as she looked at the zombie, and she queried what it was. The zombie was letting out a ferocious roar, and it looked different from the others as it was enormous. Blood splattered on the floor from Chen Bai's arm as they faced the enormous, menacing zombie blocking the hall. Chen Bai seemed worried as he checked the wound on his arm, but he grinned as he remarked it was interesting because there was actually a mutant. Chen Bai wondered what kind of evolution the dark light virus would produce by absorbing it. The zombie suddenly jumped off the ground and lunged at Chen Bai from above. Chen Bai dug his feet into the floor for driving force, and as the zombie slammed its hands on the floor, Chen Bai was able to dodge it by jumping off the ground. Chen Bai maneuvered himself in the air and hit the head of the zombie while he was still mid-air. The zombie's eyes gleamed as it saw that Chen Bai was about to land behind it. It quickly turned and swung its arms to hit Chen Bai with it, but Chen Bai was able to dodge it by arching his back and pulling his head up. Chen Bai managed to land safely on the ground, and he grabbed another zombie in the head immediately. The mutant zombie bared its fangs and roared ferociously. Meanwhile, Chen Bai was absorbing the other zombie to replenish his energy, and he observed it seems that the mutant's overall quality is on par with his. Chen Bai swung his arms to attack, and he released those vine-like auras in his arm at the same time. He punched the mutant zombie in the chest, and the punch was so powerful that the mutant zombie was pushed back and crashed into the wall. Chen Bai's fist left a dent in the mutant zombie's chest, who was pinned to the wall, and Chen Bai noted it was tough. He took a step back and skidded on the floor. The mutant zombie looked so pissed as it pulled itself out of the wall. Its eyes gleamed more menacingly as it turned to look at Chen Bai. While Chen Bai was healing his injuries, he realized that what he was doing wouldn't cause any effective damage, so it was going to take a lot of time to deal with. Suddenly, someone broke the emergency with their elbow. It was Suk-sin, and even though she was trembling, she grabbed the axe that was stored inside the emergency box. Suk-sin swung the axe and called Chen Bai. She threw the axe, and it twirled in the air. Meanwhile, the mutant zombie was charging towards Chen Bai at incredible speed, and Chen Bai was alarmed when he noticed it. Chen Bai managed to dodge the mutant zombie's claw as he jumped off the ground. He grabbed the axe in the process, and he commended Suk-sin for the job well done. Chen Bai used the mutant zombie's shoulder as a stepping stone, taunted it to come at him, and urged they should finish things quickly. The claws of the mutant zombie and Chen Bai's axe clashed. Chen Bai managed to inflict injury on the mutant zombie with his axe's slashing attack, but the mutant zombie also managed to injure him with its claws. Both Chen Bai and the mutant zombie were moving at incredible speed as they exchanged attacks. Chen Bai took a huge step and swung the axe with all his might as he exclaimed to go to hell. As the mutant zombie charged towards Chen Bai threw the axe at it. Both Chen Bai and the mutant zombie lost their balance as they collided with each other while the axe was still twirling in the air and was about to hit the mutant zombie. Chen Bai grinned, and he expressed it was surprising that it could still hold on like that. He went and grabbed the axe that was stuck on the mutant zombie's head, and he stepped on its head to help him pull it out. As he grabbed the axe, Chen Bai advised not to leave wounds unpatched and warned it to beware when its death anniversary is near. Suddenly, the mutant zombie's eyes went bloodshot, its veins popped, and it was filled with rage. Chen Bai was caught off guard as the mutant zombie suddenly grabbed him and slammed him against the wall. Chen Bai was in pain and he coughed up blood. Suxin was terrified when she saw what just happened to Chen Bai. She flinched when the axe fell on the floor beside her. On the other hand, while the mutant zombie dug its claws into his abdomen, Chen Bai was laughing in his mind, thinking that there was no choice but to die when one is on the brink of death, and he declared it was great. Chen Bai asked the mutant zombie confidently if it wanted to tear him apart. The mutant zombie was both startled and confused by Chen Bai's reaction. Suddenly, the vine-like aura came out of Chen Bai's abdomen and got hold of the mutant zombie's hand. The mutant zombie panicked, and it tried to pull away, but the vine-like aura was growing really fast, and it chased its arm. Chen Bai used his skill, Evolution Devourer, and the mutant zombie was alarmed as the vine-like aura had already wrapped itself around its entire body. As he hovered over the mutant zombie while continuing to release the vine-like aura, Chen Bai inquired if it was scared at the moment. Chen Bai proclaimed it was too late. Suxin watched as Chen Bai devoured the mutant zombie with his skill. She looked so horrified, but she still cheered on Chen Bai and applauded it was great. On the other hand, the system notified Chen Bai that the devour was complete and he had consumed a second-stage clawed zombie. A few moments later, Chen Bai landed on the ground and the system notified him that the black light transformation was in progress. Chen Bai's claws turned dark and sharp, and the system notified him that he had obtained the clawed zombie ability, Bone Claws. Chen Bai looked so pleased as he looked at his skills and thought about devouring and evolving. He proudly displayed his skill and asserted choosing the blacklight virus was indeed correct. Suddenly, the military arrived in the area. They saw Chen Bai and Suxin, and as they pointed their guns at them, they wondered if they were living people, so they queried them to raise their hands. Chen Bai was startled when the military arrived. The military cautioned them that they would count to 3, and if there was no action, they would shoot. The military began the countdown. Suxin was flustered when Chen Bai carried her, and he urged they should go. As the military leader finished the countdown, he immediately commanded orders to shoot. Bullets rained down on Chen Bai as he started to run away. Suxin advised Chen Bai to turn right up ahead as there is a safe passage that leads to the rooftop. As they continued to run, Chen Bai was hit by some of the bullets. Suxin got worried and she noted he had been shot, but Chen Bai just nonchalantly acknowledged he knew and instructed her not to speak or move around. A few moments later, on the rooftop, Chen Bai kicked the door while carrying Suxin so they could come out. Suxin was caught off guard when Chen Bai inquired where her home was, but she was able to inform him that it was in the Rongfeng neighborhood, North 4th Road, Nanbei Street. Chen Bai immediately confirmed that he got it. Suxin was startled when they began moving so fast. She screamed as Chen Bai jumped off the rooftop. Suxin was holding on to Chen Bai tightly as Chen Bai continued to run. A few moments later, at Rongfeng neighborhood, North 4th Road, Nanbei Street, someone was opening their door with their key. It was Suxin, and as they entered, she directed Chen Bai where the bathroom was, and she requested Chen Bai to let her help him clean and dress his wound, but Chen Bai replied the bullet didn't stay inside and it was almost healed, so it was okay. But Suxin insisted that she had to take a look, so Chen Bai smiled and consented as he started to take off his clothes. In the bathroom, Chen Bai's shirt and jacket were lying on the floor. With Chen Bai standing in front of her without his shirt, she looked flustered, but she still tried to point out to Chen Bai that there were still traces of injuries in his hands. But Suk-sin got more flustered when she observed the injuries on his stomach and chest hadn't fully healed yet. Chen-bai questioned Suk-sin if he would recover immediately. He probed her what she thought, and if she wanted to sacrifice herself. Suk-sin bashfully responded he wouldn't eat her because he would have already eaten her if he was going to. But Chen-bai leaned towards her, and she was startled when he corrected she was wrong as he hadn't eaten her earlier because the environment wasn't quite suitable. Suk-sin was taken aback when Chen-bai ripped her clothes, stated the environment at the moment is good and more suitable, and he reiterated what she thought and if she was willing to be eaten to help him recover. Looking embarrassed, Suk-sin looked away as she requested to wash and clean her up so she would be good. Chen-bai agreed, and he quickly stooped down to give her a kiss. The two of them shared a passionate kiss under the running shower. Meanwhile, outside the bathroom, a phone was buzzing. There were notifications displayed on the phone. It seemed like the phone belonged to Chen-bai, and one of the notifications was a message from Zhao Mu asking him where he was because Song-ji, the school beauty, was looking for him, and the other notification was a message from Song-ji inquiring if he was dead because his roommate mentioned he went to Jiangqing First Hospital.
While walking down the street and carrying groceries, Chen-bai remembered that the strange things that happened in Jiangqing before the trial came were the sealed hospital, the suburban bombing, and the monster slaughterhouse, but he didn't know much about those three things. Chen-bai mentioned there was too little information about what happened before the trial's arrival, and nobody seems to care much. It's just occasionally mentioned in casual conversation, and Chen-bai remarked it was really giving him a headache. Suddenly, Su-jin called Chen-bai, and as he picked up the call, he immediately informed he had bought breakfast so he would be back soon. But Su-jin reported two people came looking for him, mentioned Song Zikyong wanted to see him, which intrigued Chen-bai. Observing the men through the peephole, Su-jin expressed the people looking for him don't look like good people to her, and if they claim that Song Zikyong wanted to see him, it was probably a scam because Song Zikyong is the queen of Jiangqing. Su-jin was troubled, and she asked Chen-bai what she should do, so Chen-bai advised those men were not lying and she should tell them to wait outside. To which Su-jin agreed. Chen-bai knew that Song Zikyong is the mother of Song-ji, a classmate of his who had some entanglements with him, and as he looked at Song-ji's multiple calls and messages that were asking him about his situation because she was worried about him if he was really dead, Chen-bai observed it looked like Song-ji went to see her mom, which was interesting, and since Song Zikyong could find her way to Su-jin's place, she must know something. He concluded it seemed necessary to go and meet her. A few moments later, at Suburban Freezer Warehouse, a car arrived. Chen-bai was in the car, and as the men ushered him, he recalled that Song Zikyong was from rags and became the richest person in Jiangqing, excelling in both legitimate and illegitimate endeavors, and after the trial's arrival, she awakened as an A-level talent, swiftly building her own power. He remembered that eventually Song Zikyong unified Jiangqing amidst the three-way competition, so she was truly deserving of the title Jiangqing Queen, and he acknowledged she was someone he could only look up to in his past life. Chen-bai considered things were different at the moment, and if he could recruit Song Zikyong to his side, there would be more he could do during that interval before the trial. As Chen-bai continued to walk, a lady stood in front of him. They were at the Suburban Freezer Warehouse corridor, and the man beside Chen-bai immediately bowed and greeted Song Zikyong, informing her that Chen-bai had arrived. Song Zikyong immediately apologized to Chen-bai for making him come there, and she explained that she really couldn't get a wish either. She offered Chen-bai to be hers, and she suggested if he also likes Song-ji, being her son-in-law isn't out of the question. Chen-bai doubted she had a reason to get him. Song Zikyong claimed, seeing his heroic performance at the hospital, anyone would develop feelings. Chen-bai was astonished when he heard about the hospital. He looked so anxious as he inquired he remembered that he destroyed the hospital's surveillance and power supply, and she questioned her how she knew and how she found him so quickly. As she clicked on the elevator, Song Zikyong recommended not to underestimate her because, at least, during the time from the lobby to the monitoring room, her people could still trace him. Song Zikyong showed Chen-bai her phone, and she indicated conveniently she had someone in the hospital. On her phone, there were messages from a girl named Aylin who was asking Song Zikyong for help because she was trapped in Ward 523 on the 5th floor. But as Song Zikyong communicated she sent someone over, Aylin informed her that she was already fine because a super powerful person killed all the zombies, but Song Zikyong supposed she must be joking. Aylin sent a video to Song Zikyong where Chen-bai and Su-jin were running together in the hospital corridor as evidence. Song Zikyong suggested her luck has been pretty good because among the survivors brought out from the isolation by the troops that morning, she encountered a colleague of Su-jin who was quite familiar, Liu Feng. Chen-bai seemed to remember something when he heard Liu Feng's name. He recalled the night before at Suzin's house, where he was verifying with Suzin that there was a guy named Liu Feng in the bathroom back then, and not only did he attempt to rape her, he also pushed her towards the zombies, which Suzin confirmed, and she added that after pushing her towards the zombies, Liu Feng attempted to escape by jumping out the window, but he was grabbed by the zombies and smashed his head through the glass, didn't move anymore. Chen Bai recollected the person hanging on the window, and he remarked he considered him a dead person. Suzin stated it would be best if Liu Feng were dead because she hates him so much, to which Chen Bai concurred. Looking flustered, Suzin declared she already felt much better and inquired if they should continue, but Chen Bai suggested to let it go because he really didn't expect her to be a first-timer, and the scream earlier was tragic. Suzin sighed as she apologized to Chen Bai, and Chen Bai reassured it was okay as there was plenty of time in the future, but Suzin climbed on top of him and firmly declared she must satisfy her lifesaver that day. Back at the suburban freezer warehouse, at the corridor freight elevator 1 Fahrenheit, Chen Bai inquired Song Zikyong if she could tell him where the isolated survivors were, and Song Zikyong promised she would disclose it if he would be her man. Chen Bai implied she was underestimating him, to which Song Zikyong acknowledged, and she proposed with just that piece of information. Of course, she couldn't match his skill. But Chen Bai interrupted her and clarified, mentioned she had misunderstood because what he meant was that she knew too little about him, and if she knew more, she would understand. He affirmed he couldn't be her man. Chen Bai showed his bone claws to Song Zikyong and asserted it was her who should be his. Aelin quickly moved to protect Song Zikyong, while Song Zikyong pondered if it was a mutation of the zombie virus. Chen Bai demonstrated the power of the bone claws and corrected she was wrong. He proposed to Song Zikyong that he would clarify what it was if she agreed to be his woman. But Song Zikyong advanced, which made Aelin worry, and she contested he was underestimating her because he couldn't win her over just based on those claws. And moreover, he already has a young and pretty nurse, so she doesn't understand why he is interested in an old aunt like her. Chen Bai sees Song Zikyong's face as he confessed no one wouldn't be tempted by such a beautiful married woman, and he explained everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, so at least in those days before the apocalypse, there was much more she could do for him than Suzin. When Song Zikyong heard about the apocalypse, she was skeptical because it was just a few zombies, but Chen Bai clarified the zombies were not even worthy of being called a warm-up. Song Zikyong highlighted to Chen Bai that he knows a lot, and Chen Bai revealed it was more than she imagined. Song Zikyong declared they are not the type to easily submit to others, so she suggested that they cooperate, her assistance for his information, and she inquired Chen Bai what he thought about it while extending her hand. Chen Bai decided to agree and shake Song Zikyong's hand, and he admitted it seems like conquering the Queen of Zhongcheng is indeed not easy, to which Song Zikyong responded that it was natural. Song Zikyong leaned into Chen Bai and speculated she actually looked forward to meeting a man who could conquer her, so he should keep up the effort. Everyone was alarmed when they unexpectedly heard gunshots, and Chen Bai inquired what was going on. Song Zikyong remarked last night, Commander Huang of the Zhongcheng military region dispatched Captain Zhao to negotiate with her, and they had requisitioned some refrigerated warehouses to store live zombies and survivors rescued from the isolation hospitals. She asserted the gunfire must have originated from them, but she pondered how things could go awry because there were only around 30 zombies locked in the cold storage, hardly capable of moving, and they had stationed half a platoon there. Meanwhile, Chen Bai admitted he didn't anticipate the discovery of the zombies to transpire so swiftly due to their sluggishness and low temperatures, but the populace certainly wouldn't be aware that extreme conditions increased the probability of zombie mutations. As he contemplated the suburban cold storage and mutated zombies, Chen Bai had pieced things together, and he speculated if the place he was in could be the location of the suburban bombing. Song Zikyong and Aelin were astonished when Chen Bai suggested they should go as they needed to investigate, while Chen Bai expressed it was excellent and speculated what kind of mutation it would be. Meanwhile, the military was combating a massive zombie, and they were shouting to throw hand grenades into its mouth. They immediately launched the hand grenade as directed. The mutated zombie was perplexed when it experienced an explosion. The area was engulfed in smoke, and only the massive silhouette of the mutated zombie was visible. But as the smoke began to clear and started revealing the state of the mutated zombie, the soldiers were dismayed. The mutated zombie was unharmed, and it appeared enraged as it growled ferociously while clenching a soldier in its hand. The Supreme Commander, Captain Zhao, announced their weapons could not inflict effective damage, so he ordered everyone to form a group with the individuals around them and disperse to attract monsters separately because they must endure until reinforcements arrive, and he queried if they comprehended. Captain Zhao was astonished when Song Zikyong arrived and directed him to command his men to cease fire, and retreat, and Captain Zhao inquired what she implied by that. Song Ziqiang clarified what she meant was that they couldn't harm that meat mountain of a creature, so he should instruct his men not to proceed to their deaths in vain anymore. She directed him to command them to protect her cold storage employees and the survivors from the isolation hospital they transported there and extract them swiftly. But Captain Zhao objected it was impossible because the mutated zombie is not slow, so no one could escape without someone restraining it. On the other hand, Lu Lai, who appeared to be an employee, was on the verge of being seized by the mutated zombie. Meanwhile, Song Ziqiang instructed to follow her orders and not worry about the monster because someone will address it. As Song Ziqiang instructed, Chen Bai appeared and seized the mutated zombie's hand with his bone claws, and Lu Lai was rescued by the soldiers. Chen Bai remarked he merely executed a casual grab, but he nearly dislocated himself and recognized that the mutated zombie has grown to such an extent that it seems like it can't be managed by force. The mutated zombie swung its arm to bat Chen Bai in front of it, but Chen Bai moved so swiftly that he inflicted multiple cuts on the mutated zombie's arm instead. The mutated zombie appeared to have lost its balance, while Chen Bai safely landed on the ground. Chen Bai was merely standing in front of the enraged, mutated zombie, who had just regained its balance, and he seemed to be taunting it. Song Ziqiang and Captain Zhao observed as the mutated zombie swung its arms again, but this time it struck the building beside it, and slices of meat began scattering everywhere along with the smashed concrete. Captain Zhao questioned Song Ziqiang what Chen Bai was and if she was nurturing a monster, but Song Ziqiang merely inquired what he was referring to because Chen Bai is a human and he is her partner. Back into the fray, the mutated zombie was startled when Chen Bai stood atop the pile of meat, and he prohibited it from consuming those meats. Chen Bai commented it was squandering all that meat, and he employed his skill, Evolution Devour. The mutated zombie was infuriated when it observed Chen Bai devouring all that meat, so it swung its arm again to deliver a punch. A gust of wind impacted Song Ziqiang and Captain Zhao, who were spectating from the side as the punch of the mutated zombie made an impression. Chen Bai skillfully dodged the mutated zombie's assault by leaping out of the building, and while he was mid-air, the system notified him that devouring the large quantities of frozen beef had concluded and the black light virus had evolved, slightly enhancing his strength and endurance. Chen Bai acknowledged it was truly premium beef because not only did it replenish his energy, it also upgraded, and he highlighted that the mutated zombie was attempting to replenish, so it appeared to be nearly exhausted. While the mutated zombie fumbled inside the building, Chen Bai twirled in the air to position himself at the rear of the mutated zombie. Chen Bai employed his bone claws and announced it was its time to perish. The mutated zombie was startled when it sensed what was impending. However, it was unable to evade Chen Bai's strike, so it received a direct hit on the head, and both Song Ziqiang and Captain Zhao were astonished when it collapsed on the ground. Chen Bai was standing atop the mutated zombie's head and was digging his claws into it. As he extracted his hand, he was amazed as the hand of the mutated zombie still moved, and he was on the verge of getting squished and devour, and his vine-like aura immediately encircled the mutated zombie. As Captain Zhao observed, he deduced Chen Bai certainly couldn't be a human. Song Ziqiang was startled when she heard Captain Zhao assert those monsters couldn't move, and he seemed to be devising something. Captain Zhao hastily requested over the radio if their reinforcements had arrived, and as he prepared to authorize a missile launch, he was about to relay the coordinates, but he was interrupted. Someone tapped him on the shoulder. Captain Zhao seemed intimidated when he saw who it was. Song Ziqiang and Ailin were giving him meaningful looks as Song Ziqiang advised him to remain composed and think carefully because Chen Bai was currently aiding them, and he had saved him. Song Ziqiang looked menacing, and she advised not to commit foolish acts or it would conclude disastrously for everyone. 10 minutes later, rifles were making clicking sounds as they got locked and loaded. It was the reinforcements who had just arrived, and they immediately surrounded Chen Bai. Song Ziqiang was startled when Captain Zhao announced over the radio that bullets were loaded and everyone should be on alert. She quickly approached Captain Zhao and reminded him that he shouldn't forget what he mentioned, and Captain Zhao replied that he knew, so if Chen Bai doesn't attack, he won't give orders to attack. Meanwhile, Chen Bai was closing his eyes to absorb the mutated zombie, and the system prompted that the first obtainment of the zombie virus variant Flesh Mountain gave him Strength Form, a primary gain of 500 virus points, and unlocking the talent, Virus Injection. Chen Bai opened his eyes, and the system prompted that devouring the rare mutant, first stage strength type Flesh Mountain zombie, had greatly enhanced all the abilities of the Black Light virus. He began using his bone claws to test it out and wave it in the air. The system informed Chen Bai that he had obtained the Flesh Mountain Strength Form ability, Heavy Hammer, and he immediately used it in his other hand to test it out. Looking at the sharper bone claws he was wielding, Chen Bai remarked that it was indeed a significant evolution. Chen Bai looked proud as he wielded the bone claws on his right hand and the heavy hammer on his left. Looking at the heavy hammer, Chen Bai noted that he could feel an incredibly powerful force in it, but unfortunately, there was nothing to test it on at the moment. The heavy hammer subsided as Chen Bai reached out to his pocket, and he observed that it was the biggest gain of the day. Chen Bai took out the Flesh Mountain core. Looking at it, Chen Bai commented that the Flesh Mountain core was a very rare material that could be used to craft equipment, and if he found a way to control it, he could even use it to create a flesh wall that could grow infinitely. Chen Bai wondered if he should feed it some more and grow another Flesh Mountain to test its strength. But Chen Bai was startled when Song Ziqiang called him, and he immediately hid the Flesh Mountain core back in his pocket. Gesturing her hand, Song Ziqiang suggested that she would introduce Chen Bai to Lu Lai, who approached him with a bright smile on her face. When Chen Bai saw Lu Lai, he recognized her as a well-known journalist in Zhongcheng and also a somewhat famous internet celebrity, and he inquired if it was her who secretly filmed him at the hospital. Lu Lai confirmed yes, it was her, and he thanked Chen Bai as he had saved her twice. Chen Bai responded that it was just a coincidence, and as he asked her if she recorded when he killed the Flesh Mountain, Lu Lai apologized and admitted that it was her professional habit. But she could delete it if he wanted, and Chen Bai insisted that she should keep it but not send it out because he has a use for it, and Lai Lai acknowledged that she got it. Captain Zhao called Chen Bai and informed him that their military district commander, Commander Huang, hoped he could explain everything about himself and what he knew to the military. Chen Bai noticed Captain Zhao, who was standing a few meters away from him, behind the barricade, and he was speechless. He recalled Commander Huang Xingqiu and emphasized that it was a name that was hard to forget because, after the trials came, Huang Xingqiu coerced the awakened, who were weak and alone, using them like pigs and dogs. Chen Bai remembered that at first, they used patriotism and national righteousness to comfort them, but later it was just arbitrary beatings and insults, and he was one of them, struggling and starving, unable to even have a proper meal. He declared that the most ridiculous thing was that anyone who tries to leave is accused of treason and hunted down. Chen Bai recalled how it forced him to leave Zhongcheng. Back in the present, Chen Bai asked Song Ziqiang if he should go and explain, and Song Ziqiang replied that, of course, he shouldn't because she doesn't know anything yet. Chen Bai was smiling discreetly as he tried to reason out with Song Ziqiang, but she cut him off and insisted that he shouldn't worry because she would handle it. Song Ziqiang started walking towards Captain Zhao, and when Captain Zhao saw that, he mentioned that he hoped that Chen Bai and Song Ziqiang would understand the duty of being citizens of Longguo. But Captain Zhao was cut off when Song Ziqiang stood firmly in front of him. Song Ziqiang retorted that he was talking nonsense and that he should stop talking like an official because he is just a platoon leader who is not qualified enough. So he should go tell Wang Xingqiu that if he has any issues, he should come to her himself. Captain Zhao was lost for words in response to what Song Ziqiang just declared. Suddenly, a man called Captain Zhao and reported that the isolated personnel over there were causing trouble and asked what they should do. When Chen Bai heard about the isolated personnel, he asked if there was someone named Liu Feng among them, and as Captain Zhao asked the man if that was true, the man confirmed yes and that Liu Feng was causing the most trouble. Chen Bai called Captain Zhao and requested that he wanted to see Liu Feng. Captain Zhao commanded that the man should bring him over, and the man immediately gave a salute and acknowledged. A few moments later, Liu Feng arrived, and when he saw Captain Zhao, he questioned if he was looking for him and if his dad had called him. Liu Feng proudly announced that his dad is the vice president of the first hospital, Liu Huinong. Suddenly, someone tapped Liu Feng on the shoulder. It was Chen Bai, and he used his skill, Virus Injection, to inject the zombie virus into Liu Feng. Chen Bai casually informed that he was looking for Liu Feng because someone asked him to pass on a message to him, and Liu Feng, who was startled, questioned Chen Bai who he was. Leaning forward, Chen Bai disclosed that Su Zin told him last night in bed that because of what Liu Feng did to her with the zombies, she wants him dead, and when Liu Feng heard that, he nervously inquired how he knew and exclaimed that Su Zin couldn't possibly be alive. Chen Bai suddenly stepped away from Liu Feng, and everyone was alarmed when he announced that everyone should step back because Liu Feng was about to turn into a zombie. But Liu Feng argued that Chen Bai was the one about to turn into a zombie and asked if he was playing with him. Liu Feng asked Chen Bai if he was trying to trick him and how the bitch Su Zin could be with him, and as he was enraged and was about to attack Chen Bai, dark veins started coming out of his head. Those dark veins began consuming Liu Feng's head, and as he shrieked that Chen Bai would be dead, he started growling. Liu Feng had begun transforming into a zombie, and as he charged at Chen Bai, all he could do was growl in rage. Chen Bai used his skill, Heavy Hammer. He punched Liu Feng with his powerful fist and obliterated him. A few moments later, after seeing the results, Chen Bai commented that it was not bad and the skill was more powerful than he thought. While Captain Zhao was petrified and covered in blood, and he was wondering if what he was seeing was a mutant hand and if Chen Bai was a superhuman. Chen Bai turned to Song Ziqiang, and she was startled when he remarked that she did okay so he could tell her some information when they got back. Song Ziqiang approached Chen Bai and suggested that he could call her Ziqiang or Song Jai moving forward, which intrigued Chen Bai, so he asked her why. Song Ziqiang explained that she doesn't think that it is worth it to be Chen Bai's partner and asked him if it was still possible for her to be one of those who wanted to be with him at the moment, and that rendered Chen Bai speechless. Chen Bai responded that it depends on Song Ziqiang's value and performance. A white car was traveling through the empty street. Ailin was driving the car while Lu Lai, Chen Bai, and Song Ziqiang were riding in it, and Song Ziqiang remarked that it was perfect timing, so she requested that Chen Bai come over to her place for dinner. Chen Bai responded that Song Ziqiang and helped them lay a solid foundation before the trial, and as he was about to confirm creating a chat group that cost 5 gold coins, Chen Bai noted that the factions in the later stages of the trial in his previous life were complex, so the relationships established in the early stages of the trial were crucial. The system informed Chen Bai that he was creating Chat Group 1, requested to name it, and informed him that he could select Cancel to automatically name it with the number, and Chen Bai cancelled the naming. The system informed Chen Bai that he created Chat Group 1, which was named One Chat Group, and Chen Bai recalled Helois and vowed that he would rebuild his White Emperor city and make it a divine kingdom. Chen Bai looked so determined, as he declared that Helois would become the lowliest dog under his feet. 3 hours later, they arrived at Song Ziqiang's private villa. Song Ziqiang observed that in the cosmic trial, more than 90% of people will become monsters and gifted evolvers, and firearms and most electronic devices will be useless. Chen Bai commented that that was all he could tell Song Ziqiang, and he asked her to confirm if that should be enough for her to deal with and gain an advantage. Song Ziqiang responded that it was not enough, so they should get straight to the point, and she asked Chen Bai how she could become his person. Chen Bai stated that the first was ability because he didn't need useless people, and the second was loyalty, absolute loyalty like a loyal dog to its master. Song Ziqiang immediately proclaimed that she could provide loyalty. She proudly asserted that as for her ability, she believes she is qualified because, with her influence, money, and status in Zhongcheng, no one could compare to her. But Chen Bai noted that the rules and values after the trial will be completely new, and her current power, status, and money have no value other than making the idea of enslaving her more tempting. Song Ziqiang got anxious when she imagined herself and Song Ji being tied up on a stage where a host announced that the next auction items would be the former queen and princess of Zhongcheng, and asked the audience if bringing the lofty queen back home wasn't something everyone had dreamed of before the trial. She asked Chen Bai what the difference would be between being a loyal dog there and being a plaything elsewhere. Chen Bai responded that there would be a stage where she could exert her strength and a master who wouldn't restrict her out of fear because he would always be stronger than her and above her. Song Ziqiang expressed that she felt like if she hesitated any longer, she would miss out on a very important opportunity. She immediately kneeled and bowed in front of Chen Bai and declared that she was willing to serve him as her master, and that left Chen Bai speechless. Chen Bai admitted that he must say that Song Ziqiang's reputation and status make the emotional value she could provide very high, which was quite exciting. He held Song Ziqiang's chin up and commanded that she should let him witness her charm in person and that he also had some tasks for her to handle. A few moments later, Ailin and Lu Lai seemed to have received a message. Song Ziqiang sent a message through the chat group and instructed that Ailin should have Lu Lai send Chen Bai's video to her, take her home as she has been through too much those past few days and needs rest, and after that, she should find someone to keep Chen Bai's posts prominently displayed on major forums with his post titled To the Pioneers and with the post ID, Pioneer White Emperor. Ailin approached Lu Lai. She informed that Song Ziqiang wanted her to send Chen Bai's video to her and take her home to rest. When Lu Lai heard that she was going home, she asked Ailin if there was nothing she could help with, and Ailin relayed that Song Ziqiang mentioned that she had been through a lot those past 2 days and she wanted her to go home, reset, and calm down. Lu Lai agreed with Ailin and remarked that although she almost died at the hands of zombies that day, strangely, the shock she received that day didn't seem as intense when she first saw a zombie. Recalling how Chen Bai saved her earlier, Lu Lai reflected that she doesn't know if it was because she has accepted the possibility of dying at the hands of zombies or because Chen Bai's strength makes her feel at ease. A few moments later, someone registered as daughter called a phone. Chen Bai was holding the phone, and he immediately recognized that it was Song Ji. Song Ji was calling Song Zikyong's phone, and when the call was answered, she immediately asked that Aylin mentioned that she wanted her to come home and asked if there was something wrong. Chen Bai was the one who answered the call, and when he revealed that it was him, Song Ji was surprised, and she questioned him why he had Song Zikyong's phone and where her mom was. With a sleazy smile on his face, Chen Bai responded that Song Zikyong is busy working and eating, so there is no time to talk, and that she should come home and talk because it is very important. Song Ji agreed, and she insisted that Chen Bai should wait for her at home because she sent him so many messages but he didn't respond. But to Song Ji's surprise, Chen Bai had already ended the call. Song Ji looked embarrassed, and as she cursed Chen Bai, she vowed that she would make him kneel under his pomegranate skirt sooner or later. Meanwhile, Song Zikyong was kneeling in front of Chen Bai, calling him master, and asking him if he could also protect her daughter, and Chen Bai criticized that Song Ji lacks ability and her character has been spoiled rotten by her indulgence. But Chen Bai assured that if Song Zikyong worked hard enough, he could guarantee that Song Ji would most likely not become a monster when the trial arrived. Song Zikyong looked so pleased, and she thanked Chen Bai. The next day, at a suburban secret warehouse, the place was empty. In the car, Song Ji was asking Song Zikyong if she was not being deceived by Chen Bai and how she could believe something so absurd. Song Zikyong calmly explained that she stopped Song Ji from looking for Chen Bai the other night because of that, so after she got out of the car, she shouldn't speak and just look obediently, which surprised Song Ji. On the other hand, Chen Bai was standing in front of the warehouse with Aylin behind him, and Aylin reported that she visited all the places rumored to have zombies and monsters in the entire city the other day, and in the end, only that place was found. Aylin informed that the place used to be an underground casino, but at the moment, both the house and the gamblers inside have turned into zombies, and there are about 160 of them, but she didn't find any special zombies like Meat Mountain. Chen Bai gave it some thought. As he wondered if it was the zombie slaughterhouse, he remarked that it was impossible, as the reason for the hospital was because they were indoors and Meat Mountain was because it was extremely difficult to kill, and that place was remote, so if something happens, it would be hard for people to remember and spread it. Chen Bai inquired if Aylin went to all the places rumored to have zombies and monsters but only found them there, and Aylin confirmed. He noted that it seemed that someone was still collecting zombies, and the place where he places the zombies should be the zombie slaughterhouse, but the military only dares to contain a few dozen zombies at most while that person wanted to collect all the zombies and monsters. Chen Bai asked himself if the person was a curious adventurer or a pioneer who knew some information, and he concluded that it was quite exciting. Chen Bai prepared himself and declared that they should open the door. 2 men on each side of the door started pulling to open it. Fierce zombies immediately fought their way out of the door, and seeing that scene in front of him, the man who was opening it was terrified. The zombies were all over the place, trying to fight each other over who would come out and attack Chen Bai first. Chen Bai immediately kicked the first zombie who came at him. Su Xin flinched while she filmed the scene, while Song Ji looked horrified watching it. A few moments later, Chen Bai was using virus absorption on one of the zombies. Chen Bai has already defeated a mountain of zombies, and as he finished using virus absorption on the last one, the system congratulated him for obtaining the title Zombie Hunter by killing over 300 zombies. The system prompted Chen Bai that the title Zombie Hunter increases all attributes by 5 and increases the damage to zombies by 5%. It also prompted Chen Bai that he collected 500 samples of zombie-class viruses so he could exchange zombie virus serum formula using virus points in the talent tree, zombie virus entry, and Chen Bai was startled when he saw that. Chen Bai grinned as he thought of the zombie virus serum formula. He stated that it was a valuable item because even awakened talents could be troubled by zombie viruses, and as Chen Bai unlocked the formula for 300 virus points, he mentioned that, after all, not everyone has talents immune to viruses and an ultra-strong physique. Chen Bai called Song Zikyong, instructed that she should call everyone, and asked them if they all remembered what he told them before they set off. Song Zikyong was prepared and affirmed yes while Aylin and Su Xin looked nervous, and Song Ji looked disgusted and looked like she was going to throw up. With a bat in her hand, Su Xin explained that fighting zombies with cold weapons will greatly reduce the chance of turning them into monsters when the trial comes, and killing zombies unharmed will definitely not turn them into monsters. Grabbing a zombie by the neck, Chen Bai commanded that they should let him see their strength and asked who was going first. Aylin put on her gloves and volunteered that it would be her. As soon as Chen Bai let go of the zombie, Aylin charged forward to attack it. Aylin grabbed the zombie by the arm and swung it into the air. As the zombie fell to the ground, Song Zikyong hit it again with the bat to finish it. Chen Bai noted that the strength was not enough because Song Zikyong knocked it down in one hit, but it took more than 10 hits to finish. A few moments later, a zombie was down on the ground. Su Zin was the one who eliminated it, and she was lying under the zombie, completely out of breath. Chen Bai remarked that the strength was too weak because Su Zin got tackled by a zombie, but she managed to kill by relying on her familiarity with human body structure. Song Zikyong announced that it was Song Ji's turn, and Song Ji looked so terrified that tears were running down her eyes as she raised her bat. Suddenly, she peed herself. Song Ji kneeled on the ground and admitted that she couldn't do it, and Song Zikyong immediately approached her to comfort, contacted him beforehand. As he checked the post, Chen Bai saw that a lot of people had commented on it, but they were all a bunch of nonsense. One of them was even asking Chen Bai which mental hospital he escaped from and if he wanted to write a novel. Chen Bai looked appalled, and he questioned what kind of stuff that was. Suddenly, something caught Chen Bai's attention. Someone with the username "I'm not a shill" messaged Chen Bai privately. He stated that he was really a pioneer, asked him what he knew, why he was not replying, and if he had seen his messages. And when Chen Bai saw that, he observed that it looked like not everyone there was from Lezi, so there were some gains. "I'm not a shill" asked Chen Bai if he was there, what exactly a pioneer was, and requested that he reply. And Chen Bai inquired what type his talent was, and "I'm not a shill" acknowledged that he finally replied to him and that his talent was S-level mental control. But he realized what he just did and asked if he could just say that. Chen Bai responded no, but he shouldn't worry because he won't disclose it and that he could find communication on the panel unlocked by the pioneer in advance. Search for chat group 1. He mentioned that he has explained some basic things in the chat group documents, but if he has any questions after reading them, he should come find him. Chen Bai saw that the chat group welcomed someone named Han Xiao, and he was confused. Han Xiao noted that there really was and he would change the group name. He remembered to ask Chen Bai if he could invite someone in, and as Chen Bai queried who he wanted to invite, he replied that there was someone named Shuichuan who had D Chen Bai, but since he couldn't reply, he came to him for a private chat. He explained that Shuichuan asked him what he knew, but he didn't know anything, so he ignored him, and Chen Bai was so surprised when he saw the name that he exclaimed that it must be him. Chen Bai recalled the emperor-level powerhouse known as Suikyun, and he smiled triumphantly. He was typing on his phone enthusiastically as he agreed yes, and if Han Xiao would notice any other pioneers, he could invite them all in. Chen Bai laughed triumphantly. The chat group welcomed someone named Shuichuan. At 7:30 p.m., Song Zikyong called Lu Lai to ask if there were any results in the investigation of collecting zombies, and Lu Lai confirmed yes. She revealed that it was the forces of the Zhongcheng Lord who were doing such a thing and that they had sent all the collected zombies to the Manikai container yard near the Zhongcheng wharf. Lu Lai mentioned that she sent someone to try to get more information, and currently it was time to meet as agreed, but they haven't come back. She expressed that she was thinking there was no need to wait anymore. Suddenly, 2 bodies fell in front of Lu Lai, and she immediately covered her mouth to muffle her scream. Lu Lai was trembling due to shock while a man was observing her from above and was laughing. The man waved at Lu Lai, and he was intrigued when she got startled. Lu Lai was still trembling, and she exclaimed that she had been discovered. Meanwhile, it was peaceful at Song Zikyong's mansion. Someone named Liu Huai messaged Chen Bai. He stated that he just joined the group and read his group document instructions, and he learned a lot, but he still had some questions as his talent instructions were a bit obscure, so he asked Chen Bai if he could help him understand, and Chen Bai requested that he should send it over. It was the yin wood body, and it explains that the yin wood is the most yin of woods. The source of life is endless, and with the yin soul entering the body, it was the land of eternal life, and when Chen Bai saw that, he remarked that it was an SS level. As Chen Bai remarked that the cost of activating abilities was quite high as the average initial ability of a normal person is only 3-5 points. Liu Huai agreed and pointed out that it was why he has been hesitating. So Chen Bai advised that if Liu Huai's spirit is not below 3, it costs spirit to activate wood body. He explained that the reason was simple as the constitution is the foundation, so he shouldn't be a glass cannon, and Liu Huai mentioned that he has 5 spirit and thanked Chen Bai. Suddenly, someone was walking in a hurry towards Chen Bai. It was Song Zikyong, and when Chen Bai saw her, he inquired what was going on for her to be in such a hurry. Song Zikyong looked so worried as she explained that Lu Lai found out that all the collected zombies had been sent to the Manikai container yard. But Lu Lai was caught, and they were asking her to negotiate. Chen Bai stood up and questioned Song Zikyong if the captor had contacted her, which startled her. Song Zikyong was horrified when Chen Bai asked her if Lu Lai had given her up. She quickly bowed down to the imposing Chen Bai and insisted that she raise Lu Lai herself so she was sure that she wouldn't betray them. Moreover, Lu Lai was commanding from behind at that time, so the problem should lie with the people she sent out to investigate. Chen Bai stated that in that case she would save Lu Lai, and Song Zikyong thanked him. On the other hand, at Manhwa Container Yard, Zone B, Lu Lai was being tied down by the man earlier, and he addressed her by her name. The man was Xingmeng, and he commented that Lu Lai is a bit ignorant of the situation because he hasn't touched her out of respect for Song Zikyong, because if Song Zikyong chooses to submit after she arrives, she will be her subordinate. The man warned that if Song Zikyong doesn't do that, they will all be his playthings. Lu Lai was quivering as she was struggling to get out of her restraints. Xingmeng handed her a drink and suggested that she should let him toast to her again, and that she shouldn't spit it out so recklessly, but Lu Lai strongly refused it and was looking away. Suddenly, someone remarked that it was toast and not drunk, and that punishment wine doesn't taste good. The person was leisurely slicing the steak. It was Chen Bai, and when he mentioned that there was no grace, so maybe Lu Lai doesn't like drinking, both Xingmeng and Lu Lai were surprised to see him. Xingmeng looked so puzzled, and he wondered when Chen Bai sat there. Chen Bai asked Lu Lai if she was hungry, and as he handed her a slice of steak, she noted that he had tried it and it was not bad. Xingmeng was on guard, and he inquired who Chen Bai was. Chen Bai explained that he was there to take Lu Lai home while Lu Lai was enjoying the steak Chen Bai gave her, even though she was still tied up. Xingmeng sat down and asked Chen Bai if Song Zikyong sent him, but he negated himself and observed that if Chen Bai could get that close without him noticing, he must be a pioneer too. The ropes restraining Lu Lai were untied and fell to the floor. Chen Bai informed Lu Lai that she should go ahead as Song Zikyong was waiting for her in the car outside, and she agreed. Xingmeng commented that it seems that Song Zikyong was already under Chen Bai's control. Chen Bai confirmed that it was right. Xingmeng stood up and repeatedly remarked that it was interesting. He speculated that it was unlikely that the Queen of Zhongcheng would surrender easily, so Chen Bai must have a lot of interesting methods. Pouring the wine into 2 glasses, Xingmeng proposed that they could exchange ideas as he was still very interested in those things. He observed that among the 3 major forces in Zhongcheng, he subdued the lord and Chen Bai subdued the queen, so the only one left is the commander. Handing him a glass of wine, Xingmeng suggested that Chen Bai should come and assist him in becoming the king of Zhongcheng, as they could make him a confidant, and they should toast to that. But Chen Bai immediately refused. Xingmeng was flabbergasted when he heard what Chen Bai declared. He was so shocked that he dropped the 2 wine glasses he was holding, and they shattered on the floor. Xingmeng reassured Chen Bai that he shouldn't worry because he has an S-level talent, which is the highest level, and he asked Chen Bai if he would also like to drink punishment wine. Chen Bai recounted that before he came there, he looked around, and not only was Xingmeng collecting zombies, he was also creating zombies with living people, and having such a powerful ability like his was harmful and useless, so it was better to die early. He asserted that Xingmeng was also not worthy of having him assist him because his talent is SSS level. Xingmeng just laughed, and as he released his sharp claws, he explained that his talent was called Slaughter Progression, which could permanently transfer part of the attributes of the killed target to himself and grow indefinitely. He observed that the invincible top-level ability was only S-level and Chen Bai's was SSS level, so he asked Chen Bai if he was afraid that he would become a god instantly. Chen Bai responded that it was close enough, but he couldn't tell Xingmeng while in his mind. He considered that it turned out that it was an unlimited growth pure combat type talent and the claw should be equipment. Xingmeng charged forward, and as he called Chen Bai an arrogant kid, he stated that he was hoping that he would increase his attributes after his death and that he shouldn't disappoint him too much. 2 powerful slashes met midair. Chen Bai used his bone claws to counter Xingmeng's attack. Xingmeng's muscles suddenly bulked up so much that his shirt was shredded into pieces, and he observed that Chen Bai was a shapeshifting talent, which was indeed interesting, but the strength was still not enough to see. Meanwhile, Chen Bai noticed that Xingmeng used a skill, and he surmised that Xingmeng didn't fully explain his abilities. While Chen Bai remarked that he doesn't know what the effect of Xingmeng's skill has, so he has to be extra careful, Xingmeng jumped in the air to attack him and urged that he should go to hell. Chen Bai used his skill, Heavy Hammer, to prepare to meet Xingmeng's attack. Both their attacks were so strong that when they collided, it created a force field around them. At Manhwa Container Yard, Xingmeng was thrown up in the air when Chen Bai charged at him with his bone claws. Even so, Xingmeng still managed to land safely on the ground. He grabbed Chen Bai's arm with his claws, and the 2 of them were about to exchange punches again. But suddenly, Xingmeng opened his fist and blocked Chen Bai's punch with the palm of his hand instead. Xingmeng asked Chen Bai if he was alright and remarked that he didn't think that Chen Bai had much strength left. As they were trying to push each other, Xingmeng asked Chen Bai if he wasn't an SSS talent and urged that he should stop hiding his power and show him what he got. Chen Bai responded that he was already using his talent, and it was just that Xingmeng didn't realize it. Xingmeng pushed Chen Bai away and exclaimed that he should stop bullshitting. Chen Bai was alarmed when he saw what Xingmeng did. Xingmeng swung his claws at Chen Bai and sent him crashing towards one of the containers. He grinned as he taunted that Chen Bai's strength, physique, and agility were all lower than his, but he was constantly pretending to be strong. Xingmeng declared that Chen Bai's little tricks were nothing in front of absolute power, but he trailed off when his hands started trembling. He was so puzzled when he started coughing blood. Xingmeng was bombarded with system notices that different kinds of viruses had exceeded the limit of his physical immunity, so his attributes were decreasing. The system notified Xingmeng that he had gained the negative buffs of fear of light and water, abnormal body temperature, slow thinking, slow movement, and increased stamina consumption, and he looked so horrified when he saw that and asked what was going on. Coming out of the container wreck, Chen Bai remarked that Xingmeng's physique was indeed so good that it took so long for the virus to take effect, and he asked Xingmeng how it feels to have so many illnesses. Xingmeng was enraged, and as he called Chen Bai a sneaky bastard, he charged towards him. But Xingmeng was already weakened, so Chen Bai easily impaled his bone claws through Xingmeng's chest. Chen Bai used his skill, Evolution Devour, and boasted that he told Xingmeng that he was different, and it was a pity that he didn't believe it. When the vine-like aura had completely wrapped around Xingmeng, Chen Bai announced that he was going to absorb him and get the proceeds later so he wouldn't disappoint him. As Xingmeng's claw fell into the ground, the system notified Chen Bai that the evolved human has been absorbed and the black light virus has completed its initial awakening, providing a significant increase in its attributes and becoming the base attribute of the virus monarch's own body. The system also notified Chen Bai that the black light devouring ability has evolved, so he could choose to view part of his target's memories with a low probability of obtaining any of his opponent's mastered skills. Chen Bai remarked that the attribute bonuses provided by the black light virus have been changed from active use to base attribute bonuses, which was a huge benefit, and he commented that he would see how many attributes have been added because previously it was 30% more strength, 20% more spirit, and 100% more regeneration. The system showed Chen Bai that the black light virus increased the strength, agility, and physique by 50, the spirit by 40, and the life regeneration by 200%. Looking at his character profile, which described him as the evolved human number 1, Chen Bai noted that, as expected, each element has been increased by 20 points, and they have all been added to his basic attributes. Chen Bai picked up Xingmeng's claw that was dropped on the ground, and he observed that it seemed that they could no longer play around because ordinary people with basic attributes below 5 are too fragile for him at the moment. Looking at the system screen, Chen Bai mentioned that Xingmeng was pretty lucky to have those equipment, blueprints, and consumables, and that he must have killed mutant zombies. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Xingmeng to have attributes and equipment that exceeded his. Chen Bai got the zombie claws, which was E-level equipment, and the biohazard disaster, which was a C-level production blueprint, and when he saw that, he was surprised, and he exclaimed that Xingmeng's luck attribute must be quite high. He closed the system screen and declared that all of those were already his. As the crescent moon shone over the containers at the yard, it showed the damage the containers got from the fight. Chen Bai was walking away from the scene, and while recalling his previous life, he remarked that, from until that moment, his talent had gone from E to SSS, and the rumors of the 3 strange events had been very rewarding. As Chen Bai mentioned that, at the same time, he had taken over Song Ziqiang, the future lord, or Zhongcheng. Lu Lai and Song Ziqiang noticed him coming towards them. Song Ziqiang immediately opened the doors and requested that Chen Bai get in the car. Chen Bai stated that, with his current strength, it would no longer be worth the effort to look for the monsters that appeared randomly before the trial's arrival. He suggested that in the last few days before the advent, he should just try to organize and prepare for the development after the advent. A few days later, the night was peaceful at Song Ziqiang's villa. Chen Bai was looking over the city through the huge glass windows, and he observed that the trial would soon be upon them. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door and Chen Bai announced that they could come in. The doors slowly opened. Lu Lai, Su Zin, and Song Ziqiang entered the room, and Song Ziqiang informed that, fortunately, they had completed everything he asked them to do in time. Lu Lai proudly reported that information on the terrain and population size of the area centered on the Peak Villa area has been confirmed, so when Doomsday comes, they will be able to clean up, take total control, and dominate first. Su Zin awkwardly looked at her notes and confirmed that the purchase of materials had been finalized and the list had been compiled and sent to Chen Bai. Chen Bai acknowledged that the 3 of them have confirmed those pre-arrangements with each other, and Song Ziqiang noted that the time was almost up and asked what else he would like them to do. Looking at his phone, Chen Bai mentioned that there was nothing more and that it was well done, so they should just put all the information on the table. Chen Bai messaged the chat group and advised that there are 10 minutes until the trials descend, so they shouldn't be complacent about their early advantage and rare talents. He warned that they should stay calm because the trials bring dangers they couldn't imagine, and he doesn't want anyone in that group to disappear disappear in 10 minutes. One of the group members thanked Chen Bai for the reminder. Another member appreciated Chen Bai and noted that there were 9 minutes left. Another member commented that there were 8 minutes left and he couldn't wait. Another member advised that there were 7 minutes left and that they should calm down. Another member counted 6, called Chen Bai, and mentioned that she was so nervous. A member named Master of Lightning announced that there were only 5 minutes left and that the girl shouldn't be nervous because everyone was there. Another member named Crow reported that there were 4 minutes left and that they were looking forward to it. And a member named Tin Tin was just speechless. Song Zikyong's attention was caught when Chen Bai suddenly urged that everyone should come and have a look. There were 9 seconds left, and as everyone looked over the city, Chen Bai commented that soon, that quiet and peaceful scene would become history. With 7 seconds left, Chen Bai declared that the world was coming to an end. Song Ji was already trembling, and as she called Aylin, she admitted that there were still 5 seconds left, and she was a little scared, and Aylin reassured that she shouldn't be afraid. 4 seconds left, and both Su Zin and Song Zikyong anxiously looked outside. 3 seconds left, and Lu Lai was looking so anxious. With 2 seconds left, Chen Bai appeared so excited. When the clock turned 0 on June 15th, the advent of the trial came. The entire city turned red, and everything collapsed in an instant. The Blue Star Doomsday trial officially began, and the entire city was in chaos. The surviving humans have become evolved, and those humans will have innate abilities and could increase their level by gaining experience. Other races that emerged as a result of the trial will also participate in that race of life and death. As their proving ground, the Blue Planet will be home to countless secret realms and world rifts, and it was up to them to decide if it was danger or opportunity. Chen Bai watched as the city was plunged into chaos and an aircraft was about to crash into it. Suddenly, he was startled when the system notified him that the hourglass of time had been recognized and was currently binding. Chen Bai got worried that the others were still in the room, and he thought that the hourglass couldn't be known by anyone, so he turned to look at them and exclaimed that they should get out immediately, but he trailed off. He was astonished when he saw what happened to the others. Everyone was frozen in time except for Chen Bai, and he was surprised. Chen Bai was speechless, and he turned his head to look back out the window. Everything was frozen in time as well, and he was surprised that the crashed airplane stopped in mid-air. Chen Bai was flabbergasted when he realized that the time had stopped. Small orbs of energy started glowing around the hourglass of time. There were a lot of those orbs of energy, and they gathered around Chen Bai. Chen Bai was surprised when the hourglass of time started absorbing those orbs of energy. The system notified Chen Bai that the hourglass of time, which was a soul-binding item, was bound successfully, and it has the skill to go back to any point in the past and erase everything gained in the vanished timeline with a remaining cooldown of 72 years, 6 months, and 7 days, which cannot be modified by any skill or equipment to reduce its cooldown. When Chen Bai saw the notification, he thought that, looking back, it seemed like he was able to be reborn because of the hourglass. He was astonished when he saw the status save and status read skills. Status save is a skill that marks the current physical, mental, and skill status with no cooldown, while status read reads the save status and does not affect items or memories held with a cooldown of 1 hour, and they both have the requirement of soul binding. Chen Bai grinned as he thought that it was such a powerful life-saving skill with just a 1-hour cooldown. When the time resumed, Song Zikyong commented that she felt like Chen Bai had just called them, and she asked him if he had any orders or if she had heard them wrong. Chen Bai responded that Song Zikyong heard him right and requested that they go and confirm the safety of their villa as soon as possible. He insisted that the night is very dangerous, so they should put everyone on alert and start clearing the villa area as soon as it's daylight. Song Zikyong, Su Zin, and Lu Lai all agreed with Chen Bai. The next day, the city was in ruins and some places were on fire. Meanwhile, at Song Zikyong's villa, there were a lot of zombies charging towards her and Chen Bai. Song Zikyong immediately used her Amethyst Eyes, an S-class talent that transforms objects into amethyst or illuminates amethyst for offense or defense, and its power increases with mental strength, to summon a sword and charge forward. She used her skill, Insight Crystal, a skill that sees the target's attributes, and its effect changes with the difference in mental strength. Song Zikyong saw that the zombie was a normal adult male zombie with normal strength, but his scratches and bites were infected with the zombie virus, and its weakness was his head. She swung her sword and eliminated the zombie by beheading it. On the other hand, someone was standing on high ground, behind a horde of zombies. It was Aylin, who was an assassin and a class talent. That made her breath invisible and undetectable, and her strength and sensitivity increased with plus 30% agility in the shadow and plus 100% attack speed on the first hit against the target. She jumped off where she was standing. Aylin eliminated the zombies in her sight by slashing them with the knife she was holding. Meanwhile, at Song Zikyong's villa lobby, a bodyguard came in while carrying a man, and he announced that they had wounded survivors. Su Zin, who has a B-class high-speed recovery talent that could increase the speed of self-recovery from injuries and stamina, and could be used actively on others, was healing the injured survivors, and as she turned to the bodyguard who just came in, she advised that he should give the man the zombie serum and he would treat him right away. Evening came, and the villa already looked peaceful. Chen Bai approached Lu Lai and remarked that he could see that things are going pretty well at the moment, to which Lu Lai agreed and noted that with his prior arrangement, they have all the territory and the people at their disposal. Looking at the people standing guard, Lu Lai observed that no accidents have occurred so far. Chen Bai assured that he would leave that matter to her as he had more important things to do, which caught Lu Lai off guard, and she reluctantly agreed. Lu Lai's skirt was blown up by the strong gust of wind Chen Bai created when he suddenly jumped off the ground. A few moments later, at Zhongcheng Mountain Road, someone was running at an incredible speed. It was Chen Bai, and he thought that in the early stages of the Doomsday Trial, it was quite troublesome that some things, such as vehicles and firearms, could not be used, but with his current speed, he should be able to get to the place he was going in time. Chen Bai recalled that during the first day of the Doomsday, he saw the sign that appeared in the air at Zhongcheng City University, and it took him a long time to understand the meaning of that sign. But it was too late for regrets. He looked so determined, as he thought that he must seize the opportunity at that time. A few moments later, Chen Bai arrived at Zhongcheng University, and he eliminated multiple zombies that came to attack him with his skill. Looking up at the sky, Chen Bai remarked that it was about to happen and that it was the sign that all evolvers desperately wanted to see. When the light appeared up in the sky, Chen Bai thought that a sign that the avatar of God had descended had arrived, and it was close, just in front. Zhongcheng University looked so dilapidated. Someone handed him a card and mentioned that he was flattered and that he could see that they were destined to meet, so he would give them a meeting gift. It was Lord Lido, and as he handed the card to Chen Bai, he explained that it was his gold membership card to the Goblin Chamber of Commerce, and if he purchased items from the Goblin Chamber of Commerce, he would enjoy a 12% discount. Chen Bai thought that in his last life, when he met Lord Lido, he was immune to compliments and praise, so it was good to be quick on the uptake, and as he thanked Lord Lido, he remarked that he was truly as generous and kind as they said. Lord Lido noted that since Chen Bai was willing to trade, he would show him his products. First was the Great S Thunder Walker Scroll, a powerful profession that harnesses the power of thunder capable of destroying enemies as well as having extremely powerful melee combat abilities, with a redeeming price of 500 W gold coins, and second was the S-rank Reaper's Touch legendary sniper rifle that could only be used by firearms professions, and it was the work of the Dwarf God, a close friend of the goblins and Lord Lido. Chen Bai was astonished when he recognized the Thunder Walker profession scroll from his previous life and found out that it was purchased from there, along with so many other precious profession items. He apologized to Lord Lido and confessed that he wanted to buy all those things but couldn't afford them at the moment. Lord Lido acknowledged that he had heard that Lord Lido has a treasure in his hands that is coveted by all gods, and no evolver could refuse it, and if he invested it in him, he wouldn't regret it. Lord Lido materialized a seat to sit down, and as he explained that an investment must be profitable, and that was something all gods would covet, he asked Chen Bai what makes him think that he could give him more than it's worth. Looking intently at Chen Bai, Lord Lido remarked that even if he were his admirer, he wouldn't do a business that brings him loss. Chen Bai suddenly used his skill, Bone Claws, on his right hand. He also used his skill, Heavy Hammer, on his left hand. Chen Bai showed his SSS class talent to Lord Lido and requested that he look at it because it was what he was capable of. Lord Lido applauded Chen Bai when he saw that he had an SSS level talent, and he noted that it was a peculiar talent, different from any that he had ever seen. He commented that the Blue Star Trial Ground sure was interesting and tempting, but he wasn't planning on investing anything that early. As he stood up from his seat, Lord Lido decided that he would give Chen Bai a chance, and he should cherish that opportunity because if it weren't for the fact that he was gifted and doesn't have the aura of another god, he wouldn't have agreed with him. Chen Bai looked so excited, and he asked Lord Lido if he could get that precious investment. Lord Lido waved his finger at Chen Bai and clarified that it was not enough because talent does not represent the future, and among the gods, there are those with less than a level talent. He noted that to get his high-level investment, Chen Bai needed to prove his worth through his own strength and growth. The system gave Chen Bai a mission notice that stated that the god of goblins and trading, Lido, had issued him an SSS-ranked mission, the ultimate investment, and asked him if he would accept. Without hesitating, Chen Bai agreed. Flicking a coin in Chen Bai's direction, Lord Lido explained that when he completes his mission, he could use that to summon his shadow and that he hopes that he won't keep him waiting for too long. As Chen Bai effortlessly caught the coin, he called Lord Lido and requested that he show him the treasure that all the gods would covet. Lord Leto agreed and showed the SSS grade special item, Dual Profession Scroll, which allows the user to have dual professions and allows dual profession attribute growth, attribute bonuses, and skills to take effect at the same time. Chen Bai looked excited when he saw that the item was for dual professions. Lord Leto concluded that the transaction had ended and that it was time for him to go too. As he began to disappear, Lord Leto remarked that that day's harvest was quite pleasant, and he hoped that Chen Bai could complete the mission. A few moments later, when Lord Leto was gone, Chen Bai called for the mission panel, and it showed the mission description that explained that to get the most valuable investment from the smartest, greatest goblin, and the god of trade, Chen Bai needs to show enough proof. The mission objective was to find a special copy of the secret realm in Zhongcheng University, defeat the creature in it that Leto is interested in, and obtain a part of its body to give to Leto, but Leto would decide the reward. And when Chen Bai saw that the reward would be decided by Leto, he thought that he was truly a god of the trade. Chen Bai thought that Lord Leto's reputation in his previous life was very good, so if he did a good job, he was sure he wouldn't suffer any loss. But then, as he wondered if the university had a secret realm in the early days, he thought that it must have been a very well-hidden one because he had never heard of it. Chen Bai started to move, and he wondered where he should start looking. Meanwhile, at Zhongcheng University Gymnasium, the door was barricaded by a lot of things. Inside, there were 3 people who seemed to be bullying the others. The men were beaten up, and they were thrown to the floor while the women looked troubled. A big, muscular man was beating up the others while a man and a woman watched his back, and he demanded that everyone should take off their clothes and make a plea to be his slaves in a manner that pleases him. He threatened that he would kill them otherwise, and as he asked them if they got it, he called them lowly monkeys. The beaten-up men were pissed, and one of them called the muscular man a white pig bastard and declared that it would only happen in his dreams. The muscular guy smiled sinisterly, and he warned that since they wanted to die, he would let them, but they shouldn't worry because he won't let them die so easily. Suddenly, the muscular guy, whose name was Tom, was approached by the voluptuous woman watching his back, and she cautioned that he was going a little too far. Tom slapped the woman across the face, and as he called her a bitch, he ordered that she should duck off. At that moment, the door to the gymnasium was suddenly destroyed. Dust and debris covered the door as the things they used to barricade it got blown away. Everyone was startled by what they saw. Chen Bai was the one who destroyed the door, and as he called Tom a foreigner, he questioned him if he beat up those students. Tom proudly affirmed and asked Chen Bai what about it and if he didn't like it, unaware that Chen Bai had already disappeared from where he was standing. Tom and the other man he was with were startled when Chen Bai suddenly appeared in front of them, and he was using his skill, Bone Claws. Chen Bai mauled Tom with his claws and commanded that he should go to hell. The other man was agitated, and he charged at Chen Bai to attack him with his fist from behind. But blood spurted all over the place, and as some of the blood splattered on the face of the woman they were with, she looked horrified by what she saw. While he was still grabbing the man's head with his bone claws, Chen Bai asked the others if any of them were in the medical faculty, and requested that he needed help from someone who is familiar with the medical faculty. At Zhongcheng University Gymnasium, as the students were standing back up, one of them asked if anyone was from the medical facility, and one of them responded that he was not, as he was a civil engineer, while another mentioned that he was a foreign language student. Suddenly, someone pointed at the woman who was with Tom, and they recalled that she was there because they remembered that she was in the medical facility. When Chen Bai turned to look at the woman, she was startled, and she pleaded that he shouldn't kill her as she didn't hurt anyone. She looked terrified as she stated that she likes the Dragon Nation, China, and she's white with a horny heart. Chen Bai was speechless when he heard what the woman uttered, and while the male students laughed, one of the female students looked away, embarrassed. The woman begged that Chen Bai should spare her as she will do anything, and the female student stood for her and argued that the woman didn't hit anyone, and she was even trying to stop those 2 guys. Chen Bai acknowledged that he understood. A few moments later, they came out of the gymnasium, and as Chen Bai pointed at the woman, he instructed that she would stay there while the students could leave. Chen Bai explained that when the students get out, they should follow the corpses of the zombies to Zhongcheng Dongshan Villa and report his name as Chen Bai, as the people there will settle them in. One of the students inquired if they were going out at that moment when the school was full of zombies, and another student confirmed if Dongshan Villa was really far from there, which another student confirmed. Chen Bai informed that he has cleared almost all the zombies along the way, so they don't have to worry about it too much as they won't be in much danger, and since they all survived, they are gifted evolvers too. He questioned them what they will do when the zombies and monsters start growing in numbers if they are too scared to face the zombies at the moment. When Chen Bai remarked that they would be as good as dead, everyone fell silent. One of the students broke the silence, and as she thanked Chen Bai, she acknowledged that she understood, so they were leaving immediately. A few moments later, when the students disappeared, the woman asked Chen Bai if she couldn't go with them and why he kept her there, which rendered Chen Bai speechless. The woman blushed, and she was astonished when she realized something. She suggested that she gets it that the students in the Dragon Kingdom love foreign girls. I grabbed the woman by the waist and instructed that they had to go. The woman was startled when Chen Bai dragged her, and she screamed as her shirt got left behind. A few moments later, Chen Bai and the woman arrived outside the medical department research building, and she was out of breath. She was sulking as she remarked that Chen Bai was too pushy and she would have lost her shirt if she hadn't hooked her foot in it at that moment. But Chen Bai paid no attention to her remarks and inquired if it was the research building, which the woman confirmed, and she explained that there is a research room on the 3rd floor that only professors could enter, and it was said that there are many samples and information about bacteria and viruses there. As they entered the building, the woman mentioned that the one on the side that goes underground isn't a garage as it is Mr. Oshiai's house, and the incinerator. And if there was anything that was hidden in the medical department that people didn't know about, it was the only place she could think of, to which Chen Bai agreed and instructed that she should follow him. A few moments later, they entered a laboratory that was filled with different samples and machines. It was the Zhongcheng University Virus Research Laboratory, and Chen Bai was astonished when they entered. He looked so pleased as he remarked that he never thought that Zhongcheng University would have such a treasure. When Chen Bai began absorbing the samples on the vials, the system notified him that he had acquired a temperature-sensitive mutated influenza D virus for the first time and gained 5 virus points. It continued to notify Chen Bai that he had acquired different variations of influenza virus and gained small points, and when Chen Bai saw that, he mentioned that it was mostly flu viruses, which was right as it was still a school after all. Suddenly, the system notified Chen Bai that he had gained enough influenza virus, and the number of points needed to upgrade influenza to a skill decreased. Chen Bai was amused when he saw that he could upgrade influenza to a skill, and he declared that he would give it a try. The system notified Chen Bai that the upgrade was successful, and he had gained the skill Influenza, which releases a flu virus that infects a target within its range, reducing all of the target's attributes and adding a negative condition called sneeze, which interrupts all chance, accumulations, and aiming when triggered, but all effects of that skill are determined by the target's race and physical condition. Chen Bai looked so excited as he cursed in his mind, and he thought that it was so strong. And with an interrupt and powerful control, the sneeze was amazing. He recalled that when he was going through the talent tree, he didn't pay much attention to the reality of the virus, but it seems that he needed to pay more attention to that aspect of upgrading in the future. Chen Bai thought that the SSS level talent was indeed terrifying. He thought that he still had some virus points, and the trial of Lord Leto must not be simple, so he should use it to improve his strength first, and he opened the Black Light Virus skill tree. A few moments later, Chen Bai unlocked the passive upgrades Flying, which he could cling to any surface with the Black Light Virus, greatly enhancing balance and sense of direction and concentration, which greatly enhances dynamic vision and reflexes and doubles the ability to control all muscles in the body. Chen Bai raised his fist, and his muscles seemed like they were vibrating. He was surprised when he learned that he could control all muscles, and he extended his arm to test it out. Suddenly, the wall of the laboratory was filled with cracks, and the woman he was with was surprised. The woman wondered how Chen Bai did that with just a shake, and as she recalled what happened earlier, she thought that it was a good thing Chen Bai didn't use it before or she would be dead, while on the other hand, Chen Bai thought that he could see that if one could control their muscles, they could throw a blow regardless of size, and even a fraction of a millimeter is enough to throw a full power punch. When Chen Bai walked towards the woman, he noticed her reaction, so he asked her what she was blushing about, and when the woman replied it was nothing, Chen Bai mentioned that there was nothing for him there, so they should go to Mr. Oshiai's place. A few moments later, they were underground in the virus research laboratory at the teacher's repository, and as they walked in there, the woman looked scared as she called Chen Bai and exclaimed that there was no electricity there, so it was so dark. Chen Bai suddenly stopped and cautioned that the woman shouldn't move because he could feel it, but the woman couldn't stop on time, and she bumped into Chen Bai's back. They were standing in front of the incineration room, and Chen Bai declared that it was right there. The doors swung open. Chen Bai opened the doors to the incineration room, and as he entered, he instructed that the woman should stay there, but she admitted that she was scared. Chen Bai paid no attention to what the woman confessed, and as he stood in front of an array, the system asked him if he was sure that he wanted to enter the dungeon, the cold incinerator, which has a recommended level of 5-10. He extended his hand towards the array and confirmed yes. In an instant, Chen Bai was brought into a room full of beds. The system notified him that he had entered the special dungeon, The cold incinerator and successful clearance could make it exist permanently, but if it is not cleared within 2 days, it will disappear permanently. Seeing the notification, Chen Bai acknowledged that it was no wonder that he hadn't heard of it. Suddenly, the bodies on the bed that were covered with blankets started to move. Chen Bai immediately used his skill, Bone Claws, and announced that it was coming. The bodies were mutant zombies, and some of them had multiple limbs and were able to stick to the ceiling. One of the mutant zombies was stuck to the ceiling and was attacking Chen Bai from above, while the other one charged in front of him. Chen Bai created multiple slashing movements by using his skill, Bone Claws. As Chen Bai defeated the mutant zombie on the ground, the system notified him that he had killed a level 5 resurrected body and gained 400 experience points. Chen Bai noticed that the mutant zombie up on the ceiling was absorbing and accumulating energy in its mouth. The mutant zombie fired a powerful whirlwind of energy towards Chen Bai, but Chen Bai managed to dodge it. Chen Bai remarked that it was no wonder that they didn't rush up together because that was what it was all about. He jumped off the floor and commented that the mutant zombie's forward thrust was a little too slow. Chen Bai used his skill, Heavy Hammer, and demanded that the mutant zombie should go to hell. He punched the mutant zombie and it crashed up into the ceiling. The system notified Chen Bai that he had killed the level 7 Splicer Infant Spider and gained 1000 experience, and as Chen Bai landed on the floor with the dead zombie, he exclaimed that it was really a special dungeon with lots of experience points. Seeing that the other mutant zombies were waking up from their beds, Chen Bai thought that they should hurry up and come. Chen Bai looked excited, and he declared that the more, the merrier. As Chen Bai attacked and killed the mutant zombies mercilessly, the system notified him that he had gained a lot of 400 and 1000 experience points interchangeably. A few moments later, while the system notified Chen Bai that he had leveled up so his current level was 4 and he had gained 2 free attribute points, Chen Bai noticed that something was banging on the incinerator door vigorously. Chen Bai approached it, and as he taunted that its minions were all dead and it should come out, he asked if he should come and help it out. Suddenly, the incinerator door was destroyed from the inside. Chen Bai was alarmed when he saw that. He saw that a huge blob of a monster had come out of the incinerator. Chen Bai looked alarmed as he wondered how it was possible that the piece of meat had given him a sense of danger. As the blob of meat started to grow limbs, Chen Bai thought that he had to kill it before it transformed. But when Chen Bai attacked it, its limbs immediately grew and blocked his attack. Chen Bai used his evolved flu virus and blew it on the blob of meat. The blob of meat began to grow a torso at that moment, and the system notified Chen Bai that his skill had no effect on the target. It attacked Chen Bai and sent him flying. Chen Bai crashed at the ceiling, and he clicked his tongue as his flu virus started to dissipate. He was fighting with a biomaniac, and it was capable of healing its wounds. The biomaniac looked up to Chen Bai and jumped off the ground to attack him. Chen Bai also charged forward to attack the biomaniac, and they exchanged blows. The biomaniac immediately used its high-speed regeneration to heal the injuries Chen Bai inflicted. Chen Bai noted that he hasn't been able to fight with all his might since he was reborn, and a few more days and his hands and feet would have become rusty. He expressed that he was going to use the biomaniac to restore a little bit of his strength. 1 hour later, Chen Bai was still fighting the biomaniac, who kept using its high-speed regeneration to heal, and as Chen Bai found it interesting, he asked if it was an infinite regeneration. Chen Bai used his skill, Status Read. The hourglass of time renewed his body to its mint condition when it was saved, and Chen Bai announced that he would like to see if the biomaniac was really immortal. An hour later, the biomaniac lost a limb, and as Chen Bai observed that it was taking a long time to heal, he asked if it was going to stop healing at some point. Another hour has passed, and as the biomaniac trembled and slumped on the floor, Chen Bai was disappointed, and he lamented that he hadn't played enough. 1 hour later, the biomaniac had reverted to its previous form, the blob of meat, and Chen Bai concluded that it looked like it couldn't recover anymore. Chen Bai admitted that it was fun, but it was almost time to end it. He stepped on the blob of meat and it spurted all over the place. The system immediately notified Chen Bai that he had killed the level 8 boss, Biomaniac, and gained 10,000 experience points, which made him level up to level 5, so he gained 2 free attribute points and that he may exit the dungeon at any time the dungeon is successfully cleared. The system notified Chen Bai that the dungeon-cooled incinerator has been made permanent with a cooldown of 3 days, and it asked him if he would like to upload the clearance process as a paid video guide, where the payment will belong to the uploader. It notified Chen Bai that he could choose to hide his face, ID, and name, and he could also set the viewing price, so Chen Bai agreed and instructed that it could upload and hide his appearance. Meanwhile, in Song Zikyong's villa in the Dongshan Villa area, Su Xin was in a room with Song Zikyong, healing her. Song Zikyong looked surprised when she found something white, which puzzled Su Xin. She saw an announcement in the group chat that stated that Evolver White has released the Nightmare level Mystery Dungeon Cooled Incinerator clearance video with a viewing price of 1 copper coin. Both Song Zikyong and Suzin simultaneously agreed that they should watch it. Other evolvers in Chen Bai's group chat watched it too. Some of them looked excited, while others looked worried. Aylin was astonished when she saw the video, and she exclaimed that it was so fast that she had to slow it down to see it. Another member, a young man, was ecstatic and exclaimed that it was awesome and was a fierce fight. Another member, a muscular man, commented that it was not right because the monster's recovery was better than Chen Bai's, and he asked if it was not right for Chen Bai to fight like that. Another member, a young lady, looked glad as she mentioned that Chen Bai had fully recovered. Members started to message Chen Bai in the group chat. The one named Heir to the 5 Lightning Whips declared that her legs and lilies will always bloom for him. The one named Leaf admitted that she was awful and asked Chen Bai when he was coming to Yingcheng as they would be there to welcome him. The one named Tyrant noted that Chen Bai's instant recovery power seemed to be limitless. The one named Crow observed that they were already at their limit with 10 zombies and asked if there was such a big difference between SS rank and SSS rank talents. The one named I'm really not a sword fairy questioned the level 5, 10 bosses for being so strong, and as they remarked that it was not logical, they asked how they could grow to that level at level 10. The one named the only trash in the group inquired if it was possible that there was another way to solve the dungeon. But Chen Bai's power has broken all the rules. And the one named True Void agreed that they think the only trash in the group was right, that Chen Bai was too strong to find a solution. On the other hand, inside the cooled incinerator dungeon, Chen Bai just finished absorbing the mutant zombies he defeated, and the system notified him that he had consumed a special complex mutant, so he had gained 300 Black Light Virus evolution points. Chen Bai explained that the Black Light Virus has its own evolution points, which are different from those of the virus points of talent, and he could only evolve the abilities and skills of the Black Light Virus. But he noted that it was also pretty good. The system notified Chen Bai that the Black Light Virus had evolved, increasing the speed of recovery by 300%, which triggered the Black Light Virus passive ability, acquiring the Biomaniac skill grade a cell regeneration. The system notified Chen Bai that cell regeneration is a passive skill where he could use a certain amount of his stamina or other energy to regenerate as quickly as possible, allowing him to regenerate a severed limb that could be turned on or off, and when Chen Bai saw that, he remarked that it was great because there was a low probability of getting a passive skill, and it was still in a level skill. Chen Bai noted that finally, he would take a look at what the Nightmare level boss dropped. He approached the 3 shining items lying on the floor. One of the items the boss dropped was an 11 unique Biodemon Professional Scroll, an evil profession that absorbs other living beings to improve itself, which has the ability to stimulate its own cells to greatly enhance its strength and recovery capabilities. But excessive absorption may cause gene disintegration or mutation, and the consequences are unknown. It has a requirement of Evolver level 10 with a greater than 15 physique, and when Chen Bai saw that, he exclaimed that it was in a class unique profession with both risk and benefit, but he already had the Black Light Virus. Another item was the Grade C Genetic Essence, a perfect genetic essence that could be used to greatly improve one's physical condition. But each evolver could only take it once, and Chen Bai opened up the vial as he remarked that it was not bad. Chen Bai drank the genetic essence, and the system notified him that it permanently improved his strength by 2, physique by 6, and agility by 3. He picked up the last item the boss dropped. As Chen Bai stretched it in front of him, he noted that it was strange and asked if it was a special item or a piece of equipment. The system notified him that it was a Grade D Special Defense Faceless Skin, a special skin product with multiple genes, excellent defense, and could alleviate the problem of sagging skin, which also increases agility by 10, physique by 10, and defense by 10. It could be used as body shaping, and long-term wear could improve body shape with better effect on women, or dynamic skin where one could change the color and shape of any part of one's body according to their own ideas after wearing it. Chen Bai thought about what he read for a moment, and he commented that the description of the dynamic skin was a little ambiguous, and he asked if it was a body change or an equipment item. When he was about to store the faceless skin in his inventory, Chen Bai saw and remembered that he had also picked up some of the monster's dropped items before. Looking at them, Chen Bai mentioned that they were all ordinary equipment that could be worn as inner armor, but they were okay. Chen Bai saw a skill book and observed that it was nice. The system notified him that the skill book was a D-rank active skill, active cells, that increases cell activity for a short period of time, which raises the recovery ability dramatically, with a cooldown time of 10 hours. But if one already has the advanced version of that skill, cell regeneration, that skill book is invalid, and when Chen Bai saw that, he remarked that it doesn't matter because those life-saving skill books could be traded for other things in the chat room. Grabbing the blob of meat, Chen Bai announced that it was almost time to leave, and as long as he handed over that part of the boss body to Lord Leto, the mission would be completed. Chen Bai muttered that Lord Leto must not have imagined that he would complete the task so quickly. He was reaching out to the system's screen when he thought about the goblins and the god of trade, and he paused. The system was asking Chen Bai if he wanted to leave the dungeon when Chen Bai realized something, and he exclaimed that something was not right. Chen Bai remarked that Lord Leto is not a wandering trader in the game who moves aimlessly, so he must have come there for a reason. He recalled what Lord Leto mentioned when he left, and Chen Bai thought that Lord Leto commented that he was an unexpected bonus, so his original purpose was most likely that special dungeon. But Chen Bai mused that with the amount that he was getting there was no need for a divine avatar to come down there. So he asked himself if it could be that Lord Leto's purpose had nothing to do with the dungeon or if he was missing something. Chen Bai turned his attention to the incinerator beside him. He crouched through the door and observed that if there was anything he hadn't seen in that dungeon, it was inside that incinerator. As Chen Bai entered the incinerator, he noted that there were iron sheets, fire outlets for incinerating bodies, and the walls were covered with oil and grease, and there was nothing special about that. Seeing the huge hole above him, Chen Bai asked himself if it was not in the pipes and commented that it looked like he needed to go up and have a look because if he doesn't investigate thoroughly, he might miss something. Chen Bai jumped to enter the pipes. A few moments later, as he was running inside the huge pipe, Chen Bai noted that the pipe was quite long and that it had far exceeded the height of the room. Suddenly, Chen Bai was startled when he noticed something ahead of him. He saw that his path forward was blocked, and he asked if that was it, a dead end. Chen Bai elbowed the metal to test it out, and as he noted that it couldn't be, he asked if there was really nothing. Chen Bai was startled when a golden face suddenly appeared in front of him. He immediately went and punched the face, but Chen Bai was speechless when he realized something. The system notified Chen Bai that it was an unknown mask and that the main cause of the incinerator's phenomenon was an unknown thing, and the appearance of the mask, which seems to have miraculous functions and effects. Chen Bai was surprised that it was actually an item, and as he grabbed it, he exclaimed that it has an unspecified name with a question mark, so it was most likely a fragment of an SSS class item or an item related to God. As he inspected the mask, Chen Bai remarked that it was amazing and that it looked like it was what Lord Leto was aiming for, so he had to find a way to keep it. It was already evening, and at the Zhongcheng University underground incinerator, the woman was still waiting for Chen Bai, and she greeted him when he came out of it. She excitedly ran towards Chen Bai and mentioned that he was too strong as she watched his video, so she loves him. Chen Bai asked the woman if he had copper coins, and the woman replied that others were fighting zombies and she had a last-ditch attack. He thought that he didn't know how many gold coins he had at the moment, and the price to watch the video was 1 copper coin, so there should be a lot of people watching. The system notified Chen Bai that he had 869 gold coins, 93 silver coins, and 15 copper coins, and it kept increasing until it reached 912 gold coins, 75 silver coins, and 32 copper coins, but Chen Bai thought that it was not enough as he needed 1,000 coins to unlock the storage. Chen Bai thought that the storage was protected by the will of the universe from all detection and that it was the safest way to leave the items undetected, so he guessed that he would have to wait before he turned in his mission. A few moments later, Chen Bai and the woman were coming back to the Zhongcheng University Medical Faculty main building when the woman asked Chen Bai if they were going to the Dongshan Villa area, which he mentioned, but Chen Bai responded no because there are many unknown dangers at night, so they should find a place to spend the night first. The woman suggested that not far from the university there are a few high-class hotels, and it was not a holiday, so there won't, and the woman changed into a nurse outfit. But Chen Bai expressed that he didn't like that one, to which the woman apologized and explained that she thought he picked that hotel to see such a thing. Chen Bai admitted that he would like to see such a thing, but he didn't like what she was wearing at the moment. The woman stated that she would go find another one. She changed into a police outfit, but Chen Bai noted that she doesn't have the spirit, so she should change. The woman changed into a teacher's outfit, but Chen Bai commented that she was not well behaved enough, so she should change. She changed into a school uniform, but Chen Bai complained that it was boring because she was a student to begin with, and he asked if there wasn't a more interesting costume there. The woman changed into a revealing cat costume, and as she asked Chen Bai's opinion about it, he thought about it for a moment, and he seemed satisfied. Chen Bai acknowledged that it was not bad and that the woman would be his pet that night, so she should come towards him. A few moments later, the woman was fast asleep on the bed when Chen Bai sat up and announced that he should enable the storage function. The system notified Chen Bai that the storage space had been opened, which cost 1,000 gold coins. It also notified him that he could choose his successor, and it could not be detected by any ability or skill as it was absolutely private and secret, protected by the will of the universe, so Chen Bai should use it carefully, and it was followed by the notification that the unknown mask had been stored in the storage space. When Chen Bai saw those notifications, he declared that it was time to proceed to the next part of the mission. He flicked the coin that Lord Leto gave him. While still mid-air, the coin created an array, and it notified Chen Bai that it was summoning the god of goblin and trade. Chen Bai was anticipating the arrival of Lord Leto. At a love hotel near Zhongcheng University, Chen Bai was out on the street summoning Lord Leto, and he thought that there was a saying in his previous life that was widely circulated. When trading with Leto, emotions are part of the bargaining chip, which meant that Leto would adjust the rewards in order to take care of the emotions of the transaction or task object. Chen Bai thought that, of course, the premise is that he has enough value in Leto's eyes. He prepared and grabbed the lump of meat in his pocket. When Lord Leto arrived, he remarked that he didn't expect Chen Bai to summon him so soon, and he asked him if he had completed the task to prove his ability. Chen Bai confirmed, and as he threw the lump of meat towards Lord Leto, he mentioned that it was the proof, the part of the creature's body from the dungeon required for the task. Lord Leto was silent for a moment when he saw the lump of meat dropped in front of him. He noticed that the lump of meat was wizened, not fresh. Lord Leto was curious, and he observed that it looked like that thing had been dead for a while. He inquired why Chen Bai must have completed the task last night and asked him why he didn't call him right away, which rendered Chen Bai speechless. Lord Leto smiled sinisterly as he questioned Chen Bai if he didn't want that scroll very much. Chen Bai explained that it was because he couldn't figure it out. He admitted that Lord Leto was someone he admired and respected so much, and he questioned why he hid the difficulty of the dungeon from him. Chen Bai acted upset as he explained that it wasn't until he entered the dungeon that he realized that it was a nightmare level, and if he hadn't had some tricks, he would have died in there. Lord Leto acknowledged Chen Bai's frustration, but he also explained. He clarified that, in fact, it was also part of the test because there was no way he would hand over such a treasure to someone who couldn't handle the unexpected, and he asked Chen Bai if he understood. Chen Bai paused for a moment, and as he let out a sigh, he confirmed that he got it and asked what the reward and the next task were. Lord Leto admitted that it was wrong of him to hide the information in the first place, and Chen Bai has also proven himself. He revealed that the reward for that mission is for Chen Bai to choose, and the next task will be the final round task. As Lord Leto inquired how Chen Bai felt about that, Chen Bai bowed and expressed his appreciation for the understanding and generosity of Lord Leto. Lord Leto invited Chen Bai to come on and take his pick with the highest quality B-rank items as the upper limit. Chen Bai was startled when he suddenly got surrounded by a lot of B-rank item cards. He grabbed a scroll of recovery and chose that one. Lord Leto was amused, and he identified that it was the scroll of recovery, a production blueprint. He praised Chen Bai for being knowledgeable and having clear goals, and he assigned him the final task. Chen Bai was astonished when he saw something in front of him. It was a task alert that the system gave Chen Bai, and it stated that the god of goblins and trade, Leto, has issued an SSS level task to him. Ultimate investment, the final round, which was to get 2 SSS level profession scrolls, and the system asked Chen Bai if he would accept. Chen Bai was surprised when he saw that it was 2 SSS levels, and he exclaimed that it was too difficult. He protested that Lord Leto must know that even gods are not born with SSS level professions. Lord Leto grinned and acknowledged that, of course, he knew because his first profession was a level. He emphasized that it was his best treasure, so it must go to the best place. Otherwise, he would have a hard time parting with it. Chen Bai agreed and stated that it seems that he has no choice but to accept it. On the other hand, in the Dongshan Villa area, a huge rat was carrying a man's body as it walked towards the houses. It was a level 5 mutant giant rat, and it was wreaking havoc in the area. While hiding behind destroyed walls, Aylin exclaimed that it was much bigger than what appeared before. She reported that 2 teams that encountered it have been completely wiped out, and as Song Zikyong noted that its attributes were 3 to 4 times higher than theirs. Aylin observed that their people were unable to deal with it and asked what they should do. Song Zikyong turned towards the men and commanded that they couldn't deal with the mutant giant rat at the moment, so they should stay away from it at the moment but keep him under constant observation. Suddenly, Aylin was alarmed when she noticed something. The mutant giant rat found them, and as it charged to destroy the walls, Aylin immediately moved to protect Song Zikyong, and she warned that everyone should get away. Aylin's warning was a bit too late, as the mutant giant rat crashed on the ground and sent the other men flying. Aylin helped Song Zikyong up, and she urged that she must escape from there immediately, but Song Zikyong lamented that it was too late because the mutant giant rat is too fast. As if right on cue, the mutant giant rat suddenly appeared above them, and it was ferocious. Suddenly, someone appeared in the sky in a portal filled with electricity. It was Chen Bai, and he easily kicked the mutant giant rat and crashed it on the ground. Song Zikyong was glad when she saw Chen Bai and called his name. Chen Bai looked at the area, and he remarked that it seemed that he had come back in time. He instructed that Aelin should call the men to clean up the battlefield and to make sure to compensate and reward those who died in the battle, while Song Zikyong would come back with him and explain the situation. Back at Song Zikyong's villa, Chenbai was reading a report and described that the zombies were cleared out and they were checking the place out when suddenly there were a lot of those mutant rats, and the original location was east of the villas, to which Lu Lai apologized to him and reported that those beasts suddenly appeared and destroyed 6 of their warehouses, and the total number of casualties exceeded 100. Lu Lai gave another document to Chen Bai and identified that it was the specific list, and when Chen Bai got it, he remarked that what Lu Lai did already wasn't bad, and it looks like she hasn't been resting, so she should go rest first, as he will clean up the remaining mutant rats in the villa area and find out the source along the way. Song Zikyong chimed in and thanked Chen Bai for his concern, but she proposed that it would be bad if they all went to rest and there was no one around to take care of him, so she wanted to recommend someone to him, to which Chen Bai agreed. Song Zikyong called someone named Linghu and invited them to come in. The door slowly opened. As a woman stepped into the room, Song Zikyong introduced that it was Qin Linghu, who was rescued when cleaning up the villa area, and they have known each other for a long time, and she was a lawyer so she could help Chen Bai with the rules as she was willing to be his people. Chen Bai allowed that Qin Lingyu could stay, and they could all go and rest. A few moments later, only Qin Lingyu and Chen Bai were left in the room, and she was blushing as she offered that if Chen Bai needed her to do anything, he should just tell her. Raising her chin, Chen Bai recalled that he heard that Qin Lingyu was quite sharp-tongued in her profession, so he asked her if she could come and let him experience it. Qin Linghu immediately agreed. Qin Linghu was kneeling in front of Chen Bai, and as she called him master, she thanked him for the reward, and Chen Bai mentioned that her technique is really good and he is very satisfied. Chen Bai stood in front of the huge glass window and instructed that Qin Lingyu should come over there, to which she agreed. He declared that he would say a few words about their rule-making requirements there. But he was startled when he saw that Qin Lingyu was bending over in front of him while requesting something from him, so he asked her what her request was, what was with the posture, and if she did not hear what he just mentioned. Qin Lingyu apologized and explained that she didn't hear it, and it was probably because of her B-level skill focus, which allows her to increase the speed of her thinking and the sensitivity of her senses when she's concentrating on thinking, feeling, or doing something. But it blocks out all other information from the outside world. Chen Bai stated that he asked Qin Lingyu to come over there because she could see all 3 areas of Dongshan. He informed that there are villas there. Chen Bai also mentioned that there are high-end residential areas on the hillside and lower mountain neighborhoods. He indicated that he needed Qin Lingyu to make different rules according to different areas. Qin Lingyu confirmed that she could do it and asked Chen Bai if he had any other requests, and Chen Bai clarified that it was a simple request as he was curious about her abilities. Chen Bai suggested that they should see how far her senses can be stimulated when she concentrates on her feelings. Qin Lingyu blushed intensely and she stuttered as she agreed with Chen Bai. She immediately used her skill, focus, as she bent over in front of Chen Bai, and she confirmed that she was ready. The place was filled with pleasurable moans. The next morning, at Dongshan Sewerage Outlet, Chen Bai was with Song Zikyong, Aelin, and a group of people, and he indicated that he found that place yesterday through the architectural drawings and traces of mutant rats, and after entering, there was a lair of those mutated rats. Chen Bai mentioned that although he could clean that place himself, he wanted to quickly train strong men who could be trusted, reliable, and could protect everyone when he's not around, which is why he picked them guys and brought them there to level up. He urged that they should become the backbone of their villa and asked the guys if they were all ready. Everyone, including Song Zikyong and Aelin, knelt, and as they called Chen Bai their master, they confirmed that they were ready. Chen Bai instructed that they should get up because it was strange for a bunch of men to call him master, so from that point onward, they should just call him Brother Bai. He was pleased when everyone looked excited as they agreed and called him Brother Bai. Chen Bai went down on the water and stood in front of the fence that was blocking the outlet. He effortlessly ripped it off and directed that they should get started. The system suddenly notified Chen Bai that they had triggered the special mission sewer hosts, and when Chen Bai saw that, he inquired if the others had won too, to which Song Zikyong replied and confirmed that she received it too. Aelin explained that the mission requires killing all mutant rats and the Rat King and investigating the source of the mutation in the rats with rewards that depend on completion, and one of the men called Chen Bai and mentioned that they also received the same mission. A few moments later, when they entered the sewer, Song Zikyong stated that it was dark in there and it was a good thing that she already asked them to make torches, while Chen Bai remarked that it was cleaner than he thought. Suddenly, Chen Bai heard rustling, so he signaled the others and warned that they should be careful because the mutated rats were coming. Multiple ferocious mutated rats were coming towards them at an incredible speed. Chen Bai immediately used his skills, Heavy Hammer and Bone Claws, as he shouted that there were a lot of them. Everyone started to run and charge towards the mutated rats. As they killed the mutated rats that were in their way, Chen Bai warned that everyone should watch out for the ones who aren't dead. A few moments later, while Alan was finishing up killing the mutated rats, a guy exclaimed that he picked up rat skin equipment there. Meanwhile, Song Zikyong was talking to Chen Bai and reported that that section of the pipe was almost cleaned out, and they had cleared 16 long and short sections of the pipeline, to which Chen Bai agreed. Suddenly, the guy behind Song Zikyong pointed ahead and alerted that something was happening again. But there was only one at that time. And when Song Zikyong heard that there was just one, she volunteered that she would handle it. As Song Zikyong faced the mutant rat ahead, Chen Bai reminded that she shouldn't forget to use her scouting skills first, and Song Zikyong confirmed that she certainly would. Song Zikyong used her skill, Insight Crystal. She was astonished and announced that it was a level 7 boss. Song Zikyong mentioned that she couldn't see any specific attributes, but his strength was 30, his agility was 40, and she trailed off as she was about to say something about his physique. She was startled because Chen Bai was already using his skill, Bone Claws, and was charging towards the boss, and she urged that he should be careful. But Song Zikyong looked surprised and relieved at the same time when she saw what happened. Chen Bai mauled the boss and defeated it in one attack. The system rang as the grade E set of defense, Plague Boots, was dropped, and it increased agility by 5, has poison protection, which reduces the effects of poisonous debuffs, and was a 5th plague set, which increased all attributes by 1. And has a requirement of evolver level greater than or equal to 5. When Chen Bai saw the equipment, he commented that the Rat King could actually drop a full set of equipment, and he equipped it. As he wore the boots, Chen Bai remarked that although it was a lower grade, if he collected all of them, they would be several times stronger than normal equipment of the same grade. Chen Bai stated that the Plague Rat King had been killed, so the only remaining task was to investigate the cause of the mutation. A few moments later, Song Zikyong commented that they had been through 5 pipes already, and as she asked why there weren't any more rats, she was startled when Chen Bai suddenly declared that they should stop. The system notified Chen Bai that he got 10 virus points for absorbing the Spore Plague for the first time. He got 23 virus points for absorbing the Bone Spur Plague for the first time. He got 15 virus points for absorbing Rotting Plague for the first time. He got 14 virus points for absorbing Mutant Dark Green Spore Plague for the first time. And he got 20 virus points for absorbing Black Death Plague for the first time. Chen Bai thought that it was normal to absorb viruses and some germs in the sewers, but the viruses he had absorbed at the moment were something that didn't exist on Earth before the trials, and moreover, the type and quantity could even harm the evolvers. He thought that it seemed that the source of the mutation was not far ahead. Chen Bai instructed that Song Zikyong can't go any further, so they should go back immediately, to which she agreed. When Chen Bai moved forward, he was bombarded with system notifications, and he thought that it was interesting because with each step, the virus points grew faster, so he wondered what the growth rate would be when he found the source. A few moments later, Chen Bai was about to turn up a corner on the pipes, and he announced that it looked like it was right there. There was a mysterious corpse with a scroll in hand emitting poison, and Chen Bai thought that the place was heaven for him. Chen Bai stood in front of the corpse that was tied in place. He was surprised when he saw the corpse, and he asked himself if it was the source of the mutation and plague virus. Chen Bai was examining the corpse, and he stated that he was basing it according to the concentration of the plague virus. He mentioned that the source should be the scroll, the one that the corpse was holding. Chen properties or instructions. Chen Bai read that it was from the plague cult, and he noted that he had never heard of them in his previous life. He remarked that anyway, after absorbing all the viruses there, he would be able to make a great breakthrough in his strength, and he used virus absorption on the scroll. Chen Bai was extremely surprised, and he cursed when he saw that his hand had suddenly mutated. There were 2 types of energies swirling around Chen Bai. When Chen Bai's hand turned back to normal, the corpse fell down, and the system notified Chen Bai that the special mission sewer host was completed, so he had gained 2,000 experience points. A random reward was drawn, and the system congratulated him for obtaining the item Wall of Flesh. A symbol suddenly appeared in Chen Bai's palm, and the system notified him that it was the Seal of Plague, which was a proof of a core member of the Plague cult, condensed from countless numbers of horrific plagues, and will change if another Seal of Plague is within a certain radius. The system notified Chen Bai that he was not corrupted by the plague but obtained the Seal of Plague, so he has achieved the trigger conditions for subsequent missions, and the mission Plague cult has been issued with a difficulty level of SSS. Chen Bai was surprised when he saw that it was a SSS level mission. The system showed Chen Bai the mission description, which indicated that the plague cult has sacrificed the old gods and brought countless treasures to that world in order to welcome the true god of their prophecy. And if he has the Seal of Plague, he is qualified to become the true god of prophecy, so he should find the members, a plague bringer of the plague sect, and take their test. When he saw the mission description, Chen Bai commented that it was a mission related to God's authority. Chen Bai expressed that if he became the god of plague, he would be qualified to fight Helois head-on, so he would definitely find the plague bringer. Suddenly, a portal appeared in front of Chen Bai, and he remarked that a dungeon was being generated. Chen Bai reached out to the portal to inspect it. The system notified him that the Hell difficulty dungeon plague sewer is being generated. The remaining time is 29 days, 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 59 seconds, and when Chen Bai saw that it was Hell difficulty, he noted that it was harder than the Cold Incinerator's Nightmare level. Chen Bai pointed out that it will take a month to generate, so it seemed that the level of that dungeon is definitely high, so he will come back in a month to check it out. On the other hand, a portal also appeared to where Song Ziqiang was, and she announced that a dungeon of the Dongshan sewer area has been generated, which has normal difficulty and the recommended levels of 1 to 10, with a limit of 3 entries per day. Song Ziqiang was surprised when Chen Bai suddenly appeared and mentioned that levels 1 to 10 were just right for her to level up. After acknowledging that Chen Bai was back, Song Ziqiang indicated that she had sent someone to tell everyone to come up in groups to level up in that dungeon because with 3 entries a day, there is no time to waste, and Chen Bai praised her saying she did well. 20 minutes later, as the people gathered in front of the dungeon entrance, Chen Bai instructed that the sewer dungeon does not have a large space, so it was best to enter in groups of 4 to 8 and that they should remember that life comes first and profit is second, which everyone acknowledged. Talking to the 3 ladies, Chen Bai advised that they will enter the dungeon with him, but they are on their own, as he is not going to do anything unless it's necessary. Song Ziqiang, Su Xin, and Ailin all agreed with Chen Bai. Chen Bai suggested that they should team up and join the chat group. The system notified Song Ziqiang that Evolver number 1, Bai, invited her to join the chat group White Emperor Palace, and she was surprised when she saw number 1. Chen Bai explained that the numbering is just the order in which one becomes evolved, so there was no need to be so surprised. Suddenly, Song Ji confronted Chen Bai and inquired why she didn't get the invitation to the chat group. Chen Bai responded that it was because he didn't invite her. He loomed over Song Ji and declared that it is his harem and only loyal and capable people are allowed to join in. So a little girl who was scared shitless of a zombie doesn't get an invitation. Song Ji seemed embarrassed when she recalled what happened before, but she remarked that Chen Bai shouldn't underestimate people too much because she was all grown up. Chen Bai showed Song Ji multiple items and directed that she should pick up her equipment and get into the dungeon to let him see how much she has grown. A few moments later, Song Ji entered the dungeon, and she was sneaking behind a couple of mutated rats. Suddenly, she stopped Ailin and Song Ziqiang and indicated that there was no need to help because she'd do it herself. Chen Bai turned to Lu Lai and mentioned that he still doesn't know what talents she and Song Ji have. Lu Lai stated that her talent is B-level illusion, which allows her to create disembodied phantoms based on her imagination, and it plays a minor role in combat. As Song Ji went ahead and charged at the mutated rats, Lu Lai remarked that Song Ji's talent is a C-ranked natural aptitude, which accelerates the growth of experience and proficiency by 50%. Chen Bai commented that a growth accelerator is not as helpful in combat as Lu Lai's phantom, to which Lu Lai agreed. Song Ji managed to defeat the mutated rats quickly, and as she asked Chen Bai how it was, she stated that she killed 3 of them herself, and those rats were much more powerful than zombies. Chen Bai remarked that it was not bad, and since Song Ji is trying so hard to be part of his harem, she will make an exception. While blushing, Song Ji acted like she didn't care and stated that she didn't want to join Chen Bai's harem and that she just wanted to prove herself. Chen Bai immediately agreed and remarked that he respects her choice, so he won't send her an invitation, which made Song Ji panic and ask Chen Bai to wait, and Chen Bai inquired what it was. Song Ji bashfully mentioned that it was nothing and she just wanted to join in, so she asked if she could, but Chen Bai remarked that it seems that she was reluctant, so he might as well not send it. Song Ji was surprised, and she was lost for words. Song Ziqiang suddenly chimed in, and she requested that Chen Bai stop teasing Song Ji because she wants to join, and she explained that that morning, Song Ji was angry because she introduced him to Qin Lingyu and not her. Chen Bai mentioned, for her mom's sake, Song Ji should accept the invitation. The system notified Chen Bai that Evolver number 10,261,521, Song Ji, had accepted his invitation to join the White Emperor Palace, and she looked excited. Song Ji seemed so happy as she walked away and announced that she was going to kill some monsters, that Chen Bai remarked that she was a tsundere little princess, and Song Ziqiang commented that Song Ji is just a tough talker, that was all, and that Chen Bai shouldn't worry and wait until the dungeon is finished and they go back to the villa. Song Ziqiang remarked that she promised to make Song Ji call Chen Bai daddy, and Chen Bai stated that she was very decisive. Song Ziqiang remarked that, of course, she has to be decisive because the world has changed. She commented that for a young lady like Song Ji, who has never suffered before, having a daddy like Chen Bai would mean a lot to her.